Hello and welcome to the Mighty Electronic Box for the week of, what's tomorrow? 18th of November 2013. It's getting chilly in the UK now. Apparently we're in for a shitstorm. I don't know if you guys have seen in the news.
That's like every year is like the worst winter.
Just
Yeah,
actually raining feces? That sounds really mean.
No, yeah. Frozen feces will begin falling from the sky
I mean, that could be quite painful.
for 3 months. Apparently it's going to be the coldest winter since 1954. And we're all going to die. So
Okay.
Cool. Wait, no.
Britain's fucked.
Right, so this could be, the countdown of the last podcasts.
Yep. We might be able to eke out a game.
Although, do you guys remember it wasn't too long ago? I think it was like last week, actually. There was supposed to be this like mega storm, like across.
Yeah.
Pretty much like
it knocked my fence over.
All right. I mean, we got nothing. like literally, we got nothing.
To be fair, my fence was at 45 degrees before the storm, but now it's just gone. We just don't have a fence anymore.
It was weird. Like we got it rained on the Monday, and that was it. And people just like, yeah, well, so much for that.
It woke me up. It was that loud, and I don't usually wake up for shit. So it was reasonably okay in the part of London I am in. I've heard other people say nothing happened in London, but yeah, guess it depends where you are.
We definitely didn't get anything this far up north.
No, it was all down south.
Yeah,
if you're on the coast, you got fucked, I think. But
yeah, it's cold, but it's not like there's no snow or intense storms.
So,
or
like,
anything.
what kind of temperatures are we supposed to be getting in this, Arctic winter?
Minus 50.
I don't know what the temperatures are. All I know is it's going to snow for like 3 months straight or something. So
Snow's cool. I like snow.
I don't. Snow sucks.
Snow's awesome. Well,
snow's okay, but like ice and
yeah, I was about to say that.
The after
Snow's
effects of
awesome,
snow.
but yeah, the aftermath of snow sucks. Like,
yeah,
that is definitely true.
I don't know. I don't even like snow that much.
I like
It
snow.
just even before the aftermath of snow, it's just like, well, I can't get anywhere. Like,
But that's one of the best things because then you have to walk everywhere, and I like leaving footprints.
Walking in the snow is one of my least favorite parts.
I like walking in the snow.
I really do.
It's cool to see who has like bigger feet than you do, because you can see like everybody else's footprints. That's what I do anyway. It's kind of weird, I know, but that's what I like to do.
You fucking sicko.
I have like ridiculously big feet, so I don't often see footprints that are bigger than mine. So
you know what they say about people with big feet?
they have big socks.
ha 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 ha. Oh, comedy.
Socks only come in one size.
No, it's not. Socks come in sizes.
Oh no, they do. You're right. What am I about? I'm thinking of gloves. Hats. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway,
Hats come in sizes too.
not always.
I thought hats
And
always.
by one size.
It's rare to see sizes. For
Well, I
hats.
mean, you only see
Fine.
like small, medium, large hats.
Oh yeah. But I mean, even still, like depends.
Which is
on what hat
bullshit.
you're talking about.
Like-
If we're talking like a woolly hat, you're not going to get sizes.
Oh yeah, I hate that though. I hate that like you don't actually have sizes for hats because like it's really frustrating seeing like a cool hat and it's like made for like a fucking 2-year-old and doesn't fit your head. It's like,
All right.
It's like I could wear this, but I look like a fucking idiot.
Remember when this podcast was
Video
about
games.
video games? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that. Before we get off topic, before the podcast has even started, I think that might be the quickest two off topic we've ever had in the podcast history.
That could be a record, I think.
Let's talk about what we've been playing this week. I'm going to kick it off with John because he is on a short timescale here. So
Yeah. I'm on a countdown. Let's see. I finished The Last of Us for the second time.
What
Yeah, on Survivor.
what does that change for someone who
Just
hasn't played?
Makes it harder.
Okay, it's not
basically.
like different.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to play through it again. I thought, well, I may as well do it on Survivor as well. Yeah, that game's pretty awesome. I feel like this is the first time I haven't discovered an Easter egg without like having someone say, "Oh, you should look over there for that thing." So this is probably only going to be relevant to Joe, but the very last level, the hospital, There's like those like opticians chart things with like the letters that like reduce in size as you go further down. Yeah, there's one of those that says like if you read down, it's like oh god, what does it say? It's like run, don't quit, you're nearly there. It's like right at the end of the game. So, it's obviously that wasn't an accident that was there. So that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that game's pretty awesome. And just to throw in a bit of news a bit early, the story DLC has been announced. It looks like from the way the trailer goes that it's going to be looking at like Ellie's backstory before she meets Joel. Like there's that story she tells like right at the end of the game to Joel, and it basically looks like it's going further into that. So yeah, that could be interesting.
I'm wondering how that's going to be, because like surely that's not going to be very very combat.
Yeah,
focused. That's going to be pretty much just all story. I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah, that'll be weird, because like I think the whole thing is that Ellie doesn't kill someone until like 10 hours into like the Last of Us, the main game. So
do you think it'll be good? I'm kind of skeptical about it. I think it's going to be like I don't know. Seems like that's not like I didn't really finish The Last of Us and think, oh man, I wish I'd have known more about Ellie before this, like before you meet her in the game,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Ellie's a cool character though, so like, I don't know.
Is she cool before she meets Joel though? I mean, that's.
Well, I don't know. Joel's a bit of a dick, so.
True. Yeah, he is kind of, a homicidal maniac in that game.
I would have been probably more interested to see like a different character, or like maybe a completely new character, or one of the characters like Bill, the guy.
The guy, like, what's his name? What's his boyfriend's name? I can't remember. I know who you mean.
Frank or something?
Yeah, like Joel's mate who has like the booby trap town.
Yeah, that guy. He would have been interesting, because he seems like a crazy guy.
That might be one of my favorite segments of that whole game.
Yeah,
that bit where
awesome.
you go through his town is pretty great.
Yeah, the end of that game's pretty cool as well.
That is true. And I am glad they haven't put it like past the ending though. Like that was,
Oh yeah.
That doesn't need to happen.
No. I wouldn't mind seeing some like Tommy stuff as well. Maybe like Tommy and Joel like way before, like just after the outbreak or something, because their relationship seems complex.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so I don't know. Any opportunity to play more like new Last of Us stuff is probably a good one. So yeah. Let's see. I played a bunch more FTL. I thought that was just going to be a temporary thing, but that game got me good again. Haven't been able to get anywhere near as good as I was when I was playing it the first time through, because I actually managed to complete that game on normal, which is actually quite hard. And I've just been flailing and dying helplessly. I actually had a pretty good run the other day, and then fucked up by not pausing it when someone rang the home phone. And I was in, have either of you played that?
I've played.
I haven't.
Let me check right now. Where is it? FTL. I have played 30 minutes of it.
Okay, I've played like 50 hours of it.
I didn't quite get into it. Where does it get you? I suppose is my question.
I think you do need to have like one good run, and then like the rest of your time playing that game is trying to like chase that run again. It's like
right.
And that game has some pretty hard swings from like, oh, I'm absolutely destroying these guys, this is easy, and then you meet a big ship that just destroys you. So I had a really good run, and then I went to a beacon thing that was in the middle of one of those solar flare things, which basically like every 2 minutes or something, like random parts of your ship will just set on fire. And so I didn't have it paused. Like I wasn't fighting anyone. I had it unpaused. So I came back and like my whole ship was on fire. And that sucked because that was actually a really good run. Also, go back into news again. FTL Advanced Edition has been announced, which is basically just a free update for FTL. It's going to be on iPad, and all the versions are going to have like a new campaign, I believe, and then there's a bunch of new like ships and weapons and stuff. So, and new music as well, which is awesome because that game has a really good soundtrack.
Yes, it does. I've actually probably listened to the soundtrack for longer than I played the game.
Yeah. So that being free is awesome because I'd probably be willing to pay for more FTL stuff. And the last thing I played and actually finished was Gunpoint, which don't know if either of you played that at all or know what it is.
I know what it is.
I have no idea.
It's the game where you jump out of windows and land on dudes.
Yes, it's the game where you jump out of windows and then punch dudes.
Sounds pretty cool.
So it's a 2D indie pixel art puzzle thing. Stop me if you've heard this before. But yeah, it's awesome. So like the two main mechanics like Brad mentioned are jumping. So you just hold in the left mouse button and like it'll show like a little arc on the screen of your jump. And the other mechanic is like hacking. So you can go in this interface, which is sort of similar to detective mode, I guess, in Batman. Highlights all like the stuff that you can hack, and stuff that is the same like color code can be linked together. So if you've got a red door switch and a red like light switch and a red door, you can hack it so that the light switch no longer affects light. It opens doors, and you basically like set out to hack some terminal or something in a building and then get out. And that's pretty much the whole setup of the game. But the writing in that game is really, really good. There's no like voice acting; it's all just written stuff. But that stuff's like hilarious. And that came out this year, so you should maybe play it because I think for me it's up there for the stuff that came out this year.
Interesting. Has anyone played Brothers? Talking about Game of the Year.
Yeah, I played Brothers.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Finished it a couple of weeks ago.
I feel like I should get it. But...
Yeah, that game's interesting. Brothers, that is.
Nearly bought Metro as well. But the main reason I didn't is not like a money thing, it's just a time thing. I just straight up don't want to buy it and then just have it sit there and me not play it.
Yeah.
I really need to finish Metro now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, it sounded like you were pretty close to the end, Joe. So.
Yeah, I am. That's kind of... I always feel that's like the worst point to get to in certain games, where you know you're very, very near the end. Like, you should never stop playing it. You should just carry on, because I feel like I'm never going to beat that now. Because... I don't know.
Yeah, the Gunpoint is really, really funny. And the gameplay is pretty funny as well. Like jumping into a dude and then having you both fly out a window and then you punching that dude repeatedly in the face. And like you can like replay missions, or it gives you a reason to replay missions because it like you get rated on like the amount of dudes you killed, the amount of people who've seen you, like your time to get through a level and stuff. So like the perfect run is to get in, get out in like 20 seconds and have no one see you, which is pretty tough. But that game's awesome. And that was it for games. I went to see Gravity IMAX though this week. That movie is something to see in IMAX.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend just seeing it on a TV screen unless like that's your only option.
I've heard good things about it, but when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, man, that looks like it's going to be super slow or just dumb, and I wasn't really that sure on it.
right, you've got to sort of ignore some of the physics, like on a like
Pretend physics doesn't exist.
on a general level, like I went to see it with my parents and my brother. They never mentioned anything. The one part that they noticed, you are supposed to notice. That I don't want to get into spoilers, but
I'm legitimately never gonna see this film, so you can probably say.
I don't care that much.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I want to watch it, but I don't think it can't be
okay.
done.
Well, right, spoilers for Gravity. Then
Okay.
you should see this movie. But yeah, so like it's George Clooney and Sandra Bullock, and about probably half an hour into the movie, George Clooney floats off into space through a series of unfortunate events. Like still alive, but he floats off, and like there's nothing Sandra Bullock can do.
So he's dead, pretty much, or what?
Well, that's sort of the point, and then probably like quite close to the end, like the ending sort of sequence. Sandra Bullock is in like a state of despair because she's in like this escape pod thing, and then it's run out of fuel or something, and she can't fly it, and she's just like she's pretty much given up on life. And then like just as she's about to like just pretty much give in and die, like George Clooney comes along, he like taps on the outside of the shuttle thing and like just opens it into space while Sandra Bullock doesn't have a helmet on. And like everyone's like, what? She should be dead. Why isn't she dead? And then like it turns out George Clooney was a ghost and wasn't actually there.
Oh.
Like she was having a hallucination.
Okay.
Because I was like, that doesn't work. But yeah.
So what? Like the door
George
isn't
Clooney
actually open?
was alive at a point, but he's dead. And then she has a hallucination of him like coming into the shuttle, but like opening her.
Yeah, I get that. What
into
happens to her after that, though?
Oh, he says that she should. There's like a landing jet or something that can be used because all she needs is like a push, basically. Like
Oh, okay.
so she doesn't have to use like the specific jets that are used to whatever. It's yeah.
So wait, like, so George Clooney is like dead within like the first half hour of the film?
Yeah, probably about first half hour.
Wow, that's a pretty unexpected like.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot.
Actor.
That's probably one of the strong points of the movie is like Sandra Bullock's performance because it's pretty much her on her
I thought
own.
you were going to say killing George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yes,
so-
one of the strong points is Sandra Bullock killing George Clooney. No, I like
It's
George
fuck
Clooney.
George Clooney.
Yeah, his death is probably the main sticking point for me. Because just it'd take too long to explain, but the physics of it don't work. Like that's not how space works, which is weird because like a lot of that movie is about like it sort of relies on the physics, so like it's
Yeah.
like it's tension and stuff.
I think a lot of like space films suffer from that. I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but it wasn't that long ago. Tested posted this video of like it's like I can't remember what space station it was, but it was basically a tour of a space station. Like this astronaut was, I don't know, are they called astronauts if you're on a space station? I have no fucking idea, but
Yeah, whatever.
yeah, whatever. For all intents and purposes, this astronaut, she took you on like a full tour of this space station, and it was fucking awesome. Like it was really interesting, and like with how it's structured, I'd never thought about it until I saw that video. And she shows you like how everything is structured. Like it sounds really weird, but like they use like every single surface is basically a floor because there's virtually no gravity. And she shows you like how everything is like laid out, how like they have everything on every single wall, like how shit is like you saw their lab area and it was literally like 4 walls just in the shape of like 4 walls, but every single wall had like a station on it because you can just stand on it and do stuff. And like whenever ever since seeing that, like watching like anything to do with space, like everything is set out as if it's got full gravity. Like there's a floor, there's walls and a ceiling. And it's like that is a very inefficient use of space. Like when you have
a lot of stuff like the whole. I think a lot of sci-fi is basically just says like artificial gravity.
Oh
like,
yeah, I know, but I mean like it's more interesting without it. Like
yeah.
You like imagine if like your house had like, say if you had like magnetic boots or something, you had no gravity, and you could turn like every single fucking wall into a floor, and you could have stuff on it. That would be so cool. You would be able to fit like so much more shit in a room.
Yeah, I guess it's just like convenience.
Yeah.
It's like it's far less to think about, like, if you just make the ship like have normal Earth gravity.
That is a really interesting video to anybody that hasn't seen it. I don't know how you.
I should probably look at it.
But yeah, it is very, very cool.
Gravity's it's like the film itself is okay. Like I mentioned to Joe before the start, like the script's not amazing. It's not the greatest movie script of all time, but like just the way it looks in IMAX and 3D is crazy. And that'll be my first IMAX and 3D movie experience. And it was a good one. I was actually sort of worried going into it because there was a trailer before it started for The Hobbit, the new Hobbit film, and that looked really bad in 3D. Like, I don't know if that movie was filmed with the intention of having it in 3D, but
did you watch the first Hobbit in?
No.
Okay, because I went to IMAX, as in the big one in London, to watch the first Hobbit, and it looked like I was kind of disappointed with what I thought it should look like. I don't believe the first Hobbit was actually shot for IMAX.
Yeah.
Or at least not the whole film was, only parts of it was. And also the big IMAX in London did not offer high frame rate as well, which was also additionally disappointing because that was one of the things I was looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if the trailer for The Hobbit 2 looked crap in IMAX, that's probably why.
Yeah, the 3D looked really like, I don't know how to describe it. It looked flat. It was like, which is a weird way to describe 3D, but like all the characters looked like 2D cutouts on like the environments they were standing on, and like it was showing like a lot of crazy action scenes, and it was like it was like a blur. Like there was like no way to tell what is this thing, what the hell's going on. And I was like, oh, is this what Gravity's gonna be like? But no, that like Gravity is really, really well done.
Cool.
It's by Alfonso Cuarón, who, if you've seen like Children of Men, you'll know his thing is really long takes, like 10-20 minute takes with no cuts. Yeah, like the first shot of that movie is one of those, and it's pretty awesome. There's a scene where like Sandra Bullock's like floating in space, sort of free falling, and it's like going in. It goes like, it zooms out really far, then goes like slowly zooms into her face, and then like goes inside her helmet, and like shows like the heads up display thing on her helmet, then goes back out again, and like it's awesome. Yeah, but it's just a shame that they couldn't make the physics a bit more believable.
I think like 99.99% of people that go and see a film like set in space probably have no idea, though. I mean,
yeah, definitely. Like no one I saw was mentioned the fact that George Clooney shouldn't have just floated off into space the way he did. But yeah.
Awesome.
I'm trying to think of like a film that's set in space heavily that has good, like science. I can't really think of any.
I don't know. It's never.
Because I remember it wasn't that long ago, but it had been like years and years since I've seen Armageddon, and I watched that like after kind of becoming curious about all that sort of stuff, and like that film just makes no sense, like physics wise. Like it just makes no sense at all. Like what they do is like, no pun intended, like physically impossible. Like that would not work. But yeah, it's something that it's not really that big a deal.
Yeah. Firefly is one of the has the whole artificial gravity thing, but like they were one of the first to commit to the like there's no sound in space. So like when it'll show like an exterior shot of like a ship shooting at another ship, like you can't hear like the sounds of like the lasers and stuff, or the missiles. It's
thinking along them lines, I just thought it's a game, so it doesn't count. But Dead Space handles its like out of like its space stuff really well in terms of like the sound stuff. Like I didn't really notice it until I think it might have been in a stream. Someone mentioned it on Giant Bomb, but you can only actually hear things that are connected to your body.
Yeah.
Like when you fire your weapons, like you can hear them, but when an enemy's running at you, like you can't hear the enemy. But if the enemy actually hits you, you hear him then because he's made contact with you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. That's a nice touch.
So yeah, that was it for me this week. Yeah, video games.
Cool stuff. We mostly talked about films for that section of the podcast. So, Joe, bring it home.
Okay, well, I watched a load of films now already. I did actually just to keep it, off topic, because fuck video games.
Fuck topics.
Fuck topics. I watched Dread again last night. That film is fucking badass.
I still haven't seen that.
Have you guys seen the new Dread?
No, I do want to see it because I've heard a lot of good things.
I don't want to hype it up because it's one of those films that I saw it pretty early before I really heard anything about it and was like, dude, that film was awesome. And I think it is one of those like kind of cult films where people will talk it up like ridiculous. Like it's not that good. Like it's really good. Don't get me wrong. It is a really good, solid, like well-made action film. But it's not fucking Oscar worthy or anything. But it's just really fucking cool. It's a really cool film. So yeah, just know that really, I guess. But what did I play this week? I played quite a bit this week. None of it new except one thing which I'll talk about first. I played PlayStation All-Stars Super Smash Bros. Battle Royale Melee, whatever pun you want to call it. That really is just Super Smash Bros. With PlayStation characters. It's not really.
Wow.
But, I mean, I haven't played Brawl. Like my last Super Smash Bros. Was Melee on GameCube. It has some differences. I mean, it's been a very long time since I played Super Smash Bros. So like things that I'm remembering as different might not actually be different. It might just be that long since I played Super Smash Bros. But it has like almost has like an Injustice like button system. You have like 3 separate attacks and then like a unique attack like a unique ability, I guess, for your character. That stuff is actually handled pretty well because that's how they kind of get a lot of the like signature stuff in there. Heihachi from Tekken, like his kind of individual trait, whatever you want to call it, is crouch dashing, and that's how you do like his like crouch dash moves from Tekken. It's just handled with like you press circle and then a direction to crouch dash, and then you press like one of the other buttons in the move to get like a hell sweep or an uppercut or whatever. That's kind of cool. The actual game itself it's just kind of boring, unfortunately. It was one of those really weird things. It was a recommended thing on Amazon. I thought, oh yeah, I actually wanted to play that, so I ordered it. Played it for a couple of hours, and yeah, it's just kind of boring. There's not really it just seems to have like very limited combo stuff in it. Like you I didn't play it a lot, so maybe I just don't really know enough. But it didn't seem like you could really do much.
Yeah, I mean. Everything
I've
seen of it is it's weird, like the system.
I mean, Super Smash Brothers wasn't like that either. To be fair, like it was very much kind of move based. It was this move does this, this move does this, and that's that. I think that's a pretty boring system.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that about Super Smash Brothers. The
fact that you can only like score by using your super thing seemed weird.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
Like the thing with Super Smash Bros. Is like I'm not massive on those games, but the thing that seemed interesting about those was like just the crazy sort of specials and stuff, and like the items.
Yeah.
And like the fact that
cool.
Like in All Stars is the only way to score is to do supers. Is just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem as fun.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of it's just kind of by the numbers. I
Yeah.
guess is how I felt about that game. It's weird. Like the intro movie is sick. That's like the best thing about that game. Yeah, like, it's really really well done. But yeah, that really like when I was playing it, I was like, I just kind of want to watch that intro movie and then play something else. It is fairly disappointing how, and I also think the character choices and the roster is really bad for the most part. There's not, I don't know if you can unlock a shitload more characters, but I think there's maybe a couple of dozen characters by default. Off the top of my head, like you've got like your kind of expected ones in there, like Kratos is in there, Heihachi from Tekken is in there. Although they could have, I would argue, there's probably better characters than him to use in that kind of game. Cole's in there from Infamous. Ratchet and Clank is in there. Drake is in there. Who else? A Killzone soldier is in there. Like, yeah. Again, they could have chosen better characters.
Yeah. Is there anyone? Is like Crash in there? Or...
I don't think he is. As I said, unless he's an unlockable character, because I know there is unlockable characters. But no, Crash. Like that was one of my like major omissions when I was looking at the character select screen. I was like, where the fuck is Crash?
I'm pretty sure he's not in there.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the rights for Crash now because
Crash is dead. Long live Crash.
What's his face? Like Isaac from Dead Space is an unlockable character, so like, and he's not Sony exclusive.
That's weird.
Like ran out of exclusive characters.
Yeah, like the new DMC Dante is in there, and he's not, PlayStation exclusive.
We should have had Jason from Heavy Rain.
That would have been pretty funny.
Any Metal Gear?
Yeah, there's Raiden, but it's like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Raiden.
I don't mind Raiden, but I prefer Snake. Actually, Snake's was in Super Smash Bros. At some point.
Yeah, he was in Brawl, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Wii Smash Brothers, isn't it? Brawl.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else is in there? Sly's in there from Sly Cooper. Some more.
Dude from Twisted Metal.
Oh yeah, but yeah, like I just think there's way bigger omissions than like some of these characters like it's like who the fuck is this? Like there's some like really like overweight princess character, I think.
Fat princess. Yeah.
Like what the fuck is she from?
It's like a PSP.
She's from a game
or
called Fat Princess.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Who else is in there? But yeah, I just think there's some really big noticeable like PlayStation icons that are not in that game. I am kind of annoyed that it's like new DMC Dante, even though I don't really have a problem with his design, but I think like, old Dante is just more recognizable. He isn't, but it's understandable they would go with the new one as that's where they're going to go with that series. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I played this week. Sorry, that's not all I played this week. That's all for PlayStation Smash Bros. Which is what they probably should have called it. Speaking of DMC, I actually went back and played some DMC 4 this week. I had real like old game session this week. I just played like old shit. I didn't really play anything else new apart from Smash Bros. PlayStation. But yeah, I played some more DMC 4. Friend of mine has like started playing that. Like never really played DMC. And he's been like asking me for tips on it, and it kind of got me wanting to play it again. Talking about the game, like he was at a certain boss, and I was like, oh, that boss is really cool. You have to like do this, this, and this, and then like this attack you can do this on. And I was like, yeah, that game is fucking awesome. I'm gonna go play that. And I ended up just playing a bunch of Devil May Cry 4. That game is so much better than the new DMC. New DMC is fucking garbage. That game's shit. It's fucking terrible. It's not, but this is like that's the first time I've gone back to like an old Devil May Cry after having played the new one. And yeah, it's just ridiculous how much better the old games are. Just in terms of like freedom of movement and like responsiveness, like I think just they are a far more solid game. But a lot of the stuff, like a lot of the complaints about the old DMC games, going back to it, some of them are kind of valid. My friend that's playing it, like he's saying things that, like, to me, I don't really like. I don't really relate to because I've played so much of those games now that like I can't really remember what it's like to not know the stuff I know. But those games are kind of unfair in the sense that they don't really communicate stuff very well to you. Like the particular boss that he was stuck at. Like I told him one thing in particular, and he was like, "Have you guys played Devil May Cry 4 at all?"
No.
Nope.
Okay, well, never mind. But yeah, there's just a particular thing in the boss that you can do, and he said like, "How did you know you could do that?" And so it was really weird. I says, "Well, like traditionally in DMC, like you can always parry boss projectiles. Like there's a lot of boss projectiles that you can like hit back at them." And that's kind of just a trait of the series. Like you can just do that to a lot of bosses. And that's why I thought to do it in that. And of course, someone that's only ever played that one game is not going to think, oh yeah, like I can parry that and throw it back at him, and that's cool. But it is a pretty important thing in that boss fight, so it's just one of them things, really. But yeah, it just really made me realize like the depth those older games have. Like I did really enjoy the new DMC. Like I thought it was good, but admittedly, it wasn't like until this week that I went back and played an older one that I kind of remembered. Yeah, like they really, really like toned down the level of depth that this combat has. Even though the new DMC is pretty awesome, like I actually like some of the changes they made, but dislike kind of just how much they toned down the ability to create shit in the game. Yeah, that's pretty much it for DMC4. You know, if you played that game, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, you probably have no desire to play it at this point, so you're probably not going to play it. I also played some more Vanquish. That game is still really fucking good.
Yep.
Brad, have you played Vanquish?
No, still haven't.
You suck. That game is... You need to play Vanquish, seriously. Like, that game is so good. That game is so... It pisses me off how, like, underappreciated some games are. And that's definitely one of them. Like, just so few people have played that, seemingly, that I know of. Like, John, you've played that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the only person I know that's played that game. It's so annoying, like, because that game is so good. And it sucks. I only know one person that's played it. It's like, how is that possible? I don't know.
Oh, well.
But yeah, Vanquish is fucking awesome. I really hope we get a sequel to that. I'd really, really like to see a new Vanquish game, because it's still my only downside to it. Like, I went back and played through some of the story, played, like, some of the challenge mode. Like, the only downside to that game is just there's not enough of it.
Yeah.
There's not enough of that game. Like, the story mode is cool, but, like, the challenge mode really kind of opens up that combat and, like, what it's capable of doing. Like, nothing in the story mode, even on the... I mean, it is on the hardest difficulty purely because of how brutal that hardest difficulty is, but it's nothing really comparable to what the challenge mode gives you. And I just really wish there was, like, you know, just a shitload more challenges. Like, granted, the 6 that there are, you know, definitely subscribe to the quality versus quantity, but I just wish there was more. I wish there was, like, a solid, like, you know, couple of dozen challenges that you could just dive right into. But yeah, that's pretty much all for Vanquish. I played something else, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I didn't play anything really. I'm still in my kind of grumpy old man mood when it comes to games at the moment. So that's probably why I didn't play more PlayStation, Smash Brothers, whatever.
So, do it get up to anything else interesting this week, Joe?
No. This week has been fucking shit. Seriously.
Oh yeah. Do you want to
This
elaborate?
week has been fucking... Like, my PC is fucking up. I don't know what's wrong with it. Like, it keeps crashing when I start it up, like, randomly. So I'm gonna have to get that fucking sorted out. My 360 is probably fucking dying. Like, just... Shit has been going wrong, like, a lot this week.
Well, Joe, I've got some news for you.
It's not cool.
Less than a week from now, you could be the proud owner of a new, shiny Xbox One, which won't pay any of your 360 games. Dun dun dun.
Great, and this is only going to cost me £400.
A bargain.
Yeah. I might
The
as well
size of a small house deposit.
a very, very,
I
very
know.
small, like a shoebox. Or are you just going to live in a dust?
A caravan.
A caravan.
A deposit on a caravan. Anyway, where were we? So I guess that just leaves what I played. I played some weird stuff this week. Let's have a look down the list in order. So, I think I'll start with The Walking Dead. I went back and finally played the 400 Days DLC,
right, yeah.
which I got gifted by a Giant Bomb user, which was very kind of him. And I think I mentioned that before. So I went through and played that. Have both of you played that now?
I played it.
I haven't
I
played
don't
it.
think Joe has, yeah.
I haven't gone back to that.
Oh, you haven't? Okay,
No.
interesting. Because I believe those.
You can spoil it. I'm probably never going to play it. I don't really want more Walking Dead.
Yeah, I played it just to kind
I'm
of
happy
see how I
with
feel about it.
Yeah.
I think the impression I got from it is that this set of characters is going to be the set of characters for season 2, right?
Yeah, but there was that trailer a couple of weeks ago that was just Clementine.
I mean, I've read the description for season 2. I saw like a pre-order somewhere for it just said season 2 pre-order. It didn't even say like season 2 episode 1, and it did say the continuing stories of Clementine.
Yeah, so I assume she's going to run into these people at some point. Yeah,
that would make sense.
Oh man, I definitely don't want more Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure about. I kind of wish it was unrelated.
Yeah, I would have wanted like completely new cast. Like I don't want to see.
I mean, this DLC has completely new cast, and there's a interesting mix of people in there. I think some I don't know, stereotypes, I suppose, that you haven't really seen before.
Yeah.
A couple of stoners, some sort of yokelly woman. There's who was the rest of it? There's a young like college student.
There's the convict dude.
Yes, there's another person who again starts in the back of a police vehicle for murder, I believe. I think that guy gets convicted of I think his brother's like turning into a zombie, and so he decides to shoot him or something, and then gets convicted of murder. That's what I inferred from it, because the way he said I helped out my brother, even though didn't really.
The way I read that was I helped out my brother because I killed someone who was fucking with him or something.
Oh, maybe.
Like he was in deep with some drug dealers or something, so he went around and shot a dude.
Maybe that's.
Or stabbed a dude. No, because it doesn't. His thing starts with him
shooting someone, but you don't know who it is.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's been a while since I played
off camera.
So.
Yeah, it's completely off camera, and then you get to decide how you dispose of the weapon.
Yeah.
So those what caught me off guard was how short all of those little snippets were. Like the first one's like 5-10 minutes at most, and they were pretty short. Did you shoot that guy's foot off?
I believe so. It's been a while.
I didn't realize you couldn't. Like I didn't realize there was an option not to shoot that guy's foot off, so I did it by accident. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't know whether we should just go through all the decisions or just talk about it in general.
I liked all the little scenarios, like on their own. The one where you're running through the cornfield, away from the other survivor people.
Yeah.
And then you whack that lady in the face by accident.
I'd failed the whack check.
Really? What happens?
You just die. Which made it make. Yeah, so there's a shadowy figure coming towards you whilst you're hiding behind a tractor with a weapon, and you have to move the cursor onto the face, which is one of my least favorite things in The Walking Dead, is moving the cursor onto a moving dot on the screen. First of all, I was kind of curious to say maybe I don't want to whack this dude. I just want to talk to these people and see if they won't fuck me up, because maybe they're not total arseholes even though they've shot me in the shoulder. So I waited a second to try and decide what I was going to do, by which point I had already failed the check. And it just comes up with a big screen saying you're dead. And then going back and playing it again, if you whack the person, it turns out to be your friend. this woman that you were kind of having a fight, a little bit of a spate with earlier over a guy. It doesn't make any sense that she would have killed you,
bizarre.
and that kind of ruined it for me. Like that completely ruined that scenario for me.
That for me, obviously, I first time.
You smacked her straight in the face. She gets fucked up.
That's so messed up. Like her eyes like hanging out of her head or whatever.
You can see like her brains and one of her eyes is just like up in her head, and she's still like having a conversation with you. She's still
like berating you. Like
it's really creepy. Did you like try and backpedal, or did you just be like, nah, fuck you?
Yeah, I was just at that point I was like, well, she's definitely dead, so I may as well just. Did
you lie to the guy? Or did you just smacked her square in the face?
I think I said I killed her by accident. Yeah, like
I lied.
Yeah.
So I suppose the most interesting thing is, what was the outcome of the DLC for you? Who stayed and who went?
Oh God, I've got no idea. Oh man, it's been a while, so yeah, I can't remember.
For me, only that woman went with the person.
I think the majority went, and only
the majority
one or two stayed.
No, most of mine stayed.
Yeah. I liked the bit at the like the gas station or that truck stop thing.
What with the crazy?
Yeah, where it's like you've got to basically execute that person or drive away in an RV.
Oh no, that section. Sorry, yeah. The first time you're at the gas station, because
because I mean it's all set around that gas station, isn't it? So that's
exactly. But yeah, the first time you're there, when it gave me that decision, I genuinely sat there for a couple of minutes before I chose which one to do.
Yeah.
Did it have that effect on you? Because like the kid that you're protecting was all like, "Nah, let's go fucking do it." But then I was like, "But I really don't want to do it. I just want to go."
I think I was just like, I want to get out of this situation in whichever way possible. So as soon as it was like presented the RV keys, I was like, "Yep, let's go."
Oh, I sat there and decided for a very long time before choosing the gun.
Yeah.
I shot that person.
That's a bad decision. You shouldn't have done that.
Why?
The bit with the kid who's walking down the road. Did you notice the it's a kid, isn't it? Or is it
the one you run over with the stoners?
No, the one where the kid...
Oh, the college student. Yeah, the black guy.
Is he a college student? Oh yeah,
I think
again.
So like high school, college.
Yeah, the bit where you hide in the grass and there's the body next to you. Did you?
I did. I stood my ground.
Oh right, okay. So if you hide in the grass, you lie down next to either Carly or Doug, whichever one.
Oh, is that how you get the achievement that says meet a friend?
Maybe. I don't know.
I didn't do that.
So
that's the game of rock paper scissors.
that's a really interesting callback. There's stuff like that. There's a few callbacks.
I don't think I hit like any of the callbacks. I think I made all the wrong choices.
Did you not see the guys that were with oh God, what was the name of the guy who like took the boat? The guy from like the cancer survivor group in like his like the rest of his group.
Oh, is that who they were?
Because they talk about that guy.
About the guy with the boat. Yeah. I thought they were talking about that particular boat, but I didn't recognize the characters well enough to realize.
Oh yeah.
Them. So that one went over my head, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, there's probably more that I'm forgetting, but yeah, there's a couple of pretty good callbacks to the original series.
That makes sense.
So you guys are like just off the train for season 2.
I am. I don't know, the DLC interested me enough to keep an eye on it. I think what I'll do is what I did last time and wait until they're all out and then play them all in one go if I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of off the train, I guess you could say. I felt like it kind of immediately after finishing The Walking Dead. Like the technical problems that game has, like the first time through it are overshadowed by everything else, but going through it again...
Yeah,
like
I would imagine, like the technical stuff. Hopefully that's not going to be the case this time, but
it'd be nice if they found a neater way to do something else.
Because like that game, like I remember when we were doing our Game of the Year stuff. I can't remember what I said exactly, but the best parts of that game are where it's not a game, and that is not something that I really want to play again.
Yeah,
it was the first time experience going through it that was so enjoyable.
Yeah,
and I kind of got my fill the first
Yeah,
time.
I mean, I'm on board for more of that. I mean, I guess if you want more Telltale but don't want Walking Dead, there's always, of course, The Wolf Among Us, which seems interesting and maybe has a little less of the technical stuff. I mean, I saw people complaining about it still, but I didn't notice anything too
Wasn't the
crazy.
wasn't the PS3 version of like The Walking Dead supposed to be the least fucked? Why?
I can't remember, but yeah, there was a version which was supposed to be the version to play, but
Yeah, I think it was the PS3. I know I think the 360 one had like the least save bullshit, but
yeah,
without a doubt, like that ran the poorest. Like that ran
Yeah.
shit. Like it really did. I think
My favorite bug from season 1 was having Duck just be completely invisible. The bit when after he's been bitten and you're like outside the train, like
Yeah.
figuring out what to do, and you talk to Katya whilst he's holding Duck, and he's just completely invisible and just like stroking the air instead of his
Wow.
head. That was
I
pretty
remember
good.
this weird. I almost didn't finish that game. I remember when I downloaded episode 5, like something went wrong with my save file, and I had to like play through the last section of episode 4 again.
Oh yeah.
And I almost
Same.
was like, oh, you know what, fuck it. Like, and then I did go back and do it. And I'm glad I did, but yeah, like
Yeah.
the technical problems of that game are really, like I really hope they don't run into that next time.
I wonder what they're going to do about like next gen stuff, because like I played it on the 360, and obviously like I don't expect them to like be like, oh, have you 360 save on the PS4, but I
yeah.
assume there are some choices that should maybe carry over.
I mean, they said the DLC will, if you've done that.
Yeah, that's on the 360
Maybe
as well,
you'll
so.
just be like platform locked. Like if you played it on the Xbox 360, like you just if you
just
want
gotta
that
play
stuff
it.
to carry over, you just have
Yeah.
to play it on the Xbox One.
Or there's some sort of like, what are the choices you made, and
Yeah,
which
you
would
can like
take a while.
recreate your story, I guess.
Yeah, or they
That-
do some. I don't know.
That's a headache.
Yeah, but
I mean,
yeah.
if people, like, I imagine like the PC crowd will probably have it the easiest if you play it on PC. Maybe.
Yeah.
No,
I wonder if there's like just like a sort of string somewhere where they could just like, you could put it on like a browser, because it's all like the stats are like saved server side, because that's how you get all that, like
Yeah, good point.
what percent of people pick this. So it was like, if you can go on Telltale's website and be like, right, this is my game attack, can you just give me like a string or some sort of code?
Give me a password, like an old school
and you can
text
type it
code
in
to
like
punch in
yeah,
to
and you
load your game.
type it in on like any version that's like, okay, right, this is like loading in all your choices from everything.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they have like addressed it, but they haven't said exactly what they're going to do, but they do realize that it is an issue for certain people who are wanting to play it on next gen, or maybe wanting to go to PC after sort of those versions were a bit balked.
Didn't the PC have like the worst save issues though? I think that almost made the PC version the worst in some ways, because like if your save file was fucking up every time you played a new chapter, like that is really shitty. So
we'll see. Because I'm not 100% sure on that trailer whether it actually announces any platforms.
I imagine it'll be on everything, won't it? I mean,
maybe, I don't know. Like maybe it's not next gen because I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Alright then. Other than The Walking Dead, I also started F3R.
Do you not mean F3AR?
AR, yeah, F3R. As in
What?
R.
Oh,
R.
I see.
I'm trying to pronounce that as one word because
Yes.
it's impossible.
What
to
are
do
we
so.
talking about here?
Fear 3.
Fear 3. I thought we were talking about
Fear.
3. Anyway, yeah, Fear 3.
Because
You know, I am now just remembering that Fear 3 exists. And I played through it.
Well then,
the highest praise.
and
Begin.
get this, I quite
back of
liked
the
it.
box.
I just kind of forgot that game was out.
Well, let me tell you, Joe. The latest Humble Bundle has all of the Fear games in, as well as some other stuff. But I said, fuck it, let's just play Fear 3 because it's probably the least bad one.
You think they'd do like Fear 4 and the A would be a 4?
Yeah, I really can't wait.
Fear 4. How would you say
for
that?
4,
Like Fear, like Fee 4? Fee 4?
I think it's for 4.
For 4?
For
Yeah.
4. All right.
When if they got up to like all the way up to 34, they could finally do like Fear 3 4 Fear 3 4R.
Well, I can't wait for Fear 3, 4, 1, 2. That's going to be the best one, by far. Anyway, enough with stupid names.
Yeah, like I think that's like one of the worst decisions you can do is like because
the best bit is they backpedaled on it as well. the name of the game, they renamed it like on Steam to Fear 3.
Oh really?
All of the in-game logos and so on have the 3 still as the E, so they couldn't backpedal all the way.
Yeah.
They only half did it.
Like how fucking dumb is that gonna look in like? Well, it looks dumb now, but like, how dumb is that gonna look in like 20 years? Like when like nobody even does that anymore. I mean, no one does that shit now, so it already looks stupid. But you know, that's like didn't Driver 3 do that too? Now that I think about it, was it Driver 3?
Drive 3R.
Yeah,
yeah,
that too.
People were taking the piss out of that like when it first came out.
Yeah, that's what makes it really bad. Is like when someone's taking the piss out of like your, hip, cool, edgy way or whatever the fuck you want to call it, when you're doing it, like, yeah.
Back in like 2003, whenever that was.
Yeah. All right, back to Fear. So I picked up Fear in the latest Humble Bundle, which also had a bunch of other games I don't really care about. I mainly got it for a game I'll talk about in a minute. But I had Fear, and I thought I might as well play it. So me and my cousin decided to go through it on co-op on the hardest difficulty you can choose from start, and play some of that. And
is that the hardest mode? I can't remember.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a harder one.
Yeah, I thought so. I think you have to play through it once to get the whatever.
Yeah, I think so. But it's not that hard, actually, the default hardest mode. But we're playing it co-op. Also, you have to play co-op to play this mode. Like you have to turn the difficulty down if you don't play co-op. It's weird. Yeah, so the weird thing about it being co-op, I have no idea how this would work as a single-player game. Because there's like 2 characters, I guess. I don't know anything about Fear, so please correct me. I'm going to be horribly wrong. So there's these 2 characters. I think they're brothers, right? And one of them shot the other one in the face at the end of Fear 2 or something.
I've played all 3 Fear games. I can't remember.
So one of them is like undead and has magical superpowers. Yeah. And they didn't know they were brothers. Like, they were raised as like science experiments because they're freaks. And they didn't know they were brothers until they went mental and like tried to kill their father or some shit. Or they're still trying to kill their father. I'm really not sure what's going on. And so one of them is just good at shooting guns and can make time slow down. And the other one doesn't get to use guns, but can pick people up with a red laser beam and then make them explode. And also possess people. That
seems like a useful power.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. And then you can just lift people up and press control, and then zoom into their body, and then you can start shooting dudes as that person. So how does that work as a single player game?
You shoot dudes in the face.
Like, you just don't get any of the magic.
No, not that I can remember.
That's shit. The magic's better than the fucking shooting.
I remember that game being just really fucking easy though. Like even on the hardest mode.
Yeah. We're playing on the hardest default mode, and
it's like
hard.
It's one of those weird games where like it seems just really kind of simple. Like the enemies in it aren't really like they're not stupid, but they're not really they're just not threatening at all. It's like slow motion, like headshot, duck, slow mo recharge, slow mo.
I don't like the
headshot.
The cover mechanic doesn't work.
I never really used it.
Yeah, but like even like crouch is on C, and so I always miss it when I try and get in cover. And like you can press Q to like stick to cover and hide behind stuff.
I played it on 360, so
it just doesn't control well at all with the cover mechanic stuff. I still
think a keyboard is like a terrible way to play a game. Like the mouse is an obvious advantage over an analog stick, but like a keyboard is not like a keyboard is not over the position of buttons on a controller.
So do you want like a mouse with like a joystick, like a analog
really
stick
do.
coming out the side?
I
of it?
want like a joystick. I want like a mouse that can be like that has all the buttons in the perfect places. Like I essentially need to build my own controller. That's what I need to do, because like both have clear advantages over the other, and both have clear disadvantages when compared to the other. But anyway, we get off topic.
A tad.
This is an off-topic podcast. I mean,
this is true. This is true. So we played like the first 2 missions of that. The funny thing is, so there's like creepy things that occasionally happen. Like, it's not really a horror game. It's not really scary. But there are these weird moments, and quite often my cousin was running ahead of me, and then he'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like some random girl would turn up or something, and then disappear. And then by the time I got there was nothing there. So I thought he was making it up for like the entire like first half an hour of the game until I finally saw one of the weird things, which is kind of amusing. I might keep playing that just to kind of see what it's about, but it doesn't explain itself well at all. I have no idea what's going on.
You haven't played Fear 1 or 2, have you?
Nope.
Yeah, then it won't.
And my cousin has, and he still doesn't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, he barely remembers the end.
I've always thought Fear, just in general, is ridiculously overrated. Like,
I didn't even think it was overrated.
Well, it was. I mean, I played them when they were relatively current. And yeah, like some people were like flipping their shit over that. I was like, "Oh, Fear, it's so good."
Oh, Shadowfall review just hit on Giant Bomb. 3 out of 5.
Shadowfall, what's that? Is that Killzone?
The new Killzone, yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like I've never got the Fear hype at all. I remember when Fear 3 came out. I think I was actually like not necessarily working because it was freelance stuff, but I remember that was a game I had for review, and I was on a podcast about that, and one of the people I was on the podcast with, she was a huge Fear fan. Like, she was one of the Fear hype train people, and she thought Fear 3 was just straight garbage, like, because it wasn't like Fear 1 or 2, and that's the main reason I thought it was actually pretty good, because it wasn't like Fear 1 or 2, because I think those games are pretty fucking shit. Like, they're not scary at all. Like they're just not. Like the scary stuff in Fear 3, like well, I can't remember what you just said, Brad, but like it is kind of like, oh yeah, there's this picture of, oh look, a creepy girl with long black hair. Oh, blood. Yeah, great. This is not scary. Like, yeah, it's just so random and just it's not scary. Like, it's just it's more
is
annoying.
It trying to be scary?
I think it is.
I can't
think
tell.
That's what makes it even worse. But like,
I literally can't tell.
The game is called Fear.
Yeah, but it
probably is trying to be. Yeah, that's a good point, John.
What are they afraid of?
Making it scary.
Are they afraid of making a good game? Like, I don't know.
Oh, but
snap.
But yeah, it just doesn't work. It's like it's more annoying than anything else, because like you can't skip those bits. You can't really move through them. They take away your like ability to look around and shit. So it's like, hey, suffer through this really non-scary piece of shit while we pad out our game length. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I've never ever understood the huge admiration people have for Fear. Like, I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Maybe I remember hearing like the PC version of the first one was like something when it came out, like somewhat of a technical like beast. And I think, I don't want to generalize here, but that is a pretty common trend amongst PC people. Not to start a flame war here, but like when a thing comes out that like melts your PC, oh, this game's amazing. And it's like, no, actually, it's pretty shit. Like, you just.
I know, Crysis was pretty good, yo.
Yeah, that game sucks.
That's
exactly what I was gonna build up to. The first.
You are objectively wrong.
No, that game.
Crysis,
well, it's not garbage.
Crysis 1 is the best game in the series. You can't deny that.
It's a good shooter.
Is Crysis 2 or 3 better than Crysis 1?
I haven't played Crysis 3, so I can't comment. But
is Crysis 2 better than
Crysis 2 is definitely better than Crysis 1.
You're wrong.
Without a doubt. Yep. It controls better, and that's like.
But the entire concept of Crysis, they were like, hey, remember when we made that awesome open world-ish like exploration-based shooter, and then completely removed all of that? Yeah, that's called Crisis.
Yeah, they removed it because it sucked. Like, they removed it.
I don't want to have this discussion anymore.
I'm just winding you up. The first Crisis is not shit. It's just it is one of those games where like that game is not like
All right, Metro.
revolutionary.
Tell me Metro shit.
Or anyway,
Tell me Metro shit. Exactly. Metro was a computer melter.
Yeah, but people aren't like, oh my, people don't fucking wank over how good Metro was because it melted their PC. That had a perfectly fine console version. Like, Metro was just poorly optimized. It wasn't designed to be a PC game. Like, Crisis and Fear, like, from what I know at least, were designed. But yeah, if you think you have a good PC, we're going to show you that your PC is actually trash. Like, that is what I'm talking about here. Like, Metro wasn't like that. Like, you know, they didn't make that with, like, yeah, you're going to have to, like, buy a new computer to play this game, so of course you're going to say it's good.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, Fear. I've just never got it. I've never got, and I quite enjoyed Fear 3. Like, I didn't think it was a masterpiece or anything, but it made shooting dudes in the head pretty fun. The magic stuff, like the magic dude, like playing as him was pretty neat.
Did you get to like switch character?
I can't remember. I haven't played it since I very first played Fear 3. And I played it co-op with a friend. Like, we switched out, like, we played through co-op each time, like, you know, so one could be, like, you know, the magic dude or whatever. And the other one be the shooty guy. But yeah, like, I remember it being, like, fun, but not, you know, amazing. It was just a fun shooter.
Fair enough.
I don't know. John, have you played Fear 1 and 2?
No.
Oh.
Not at all.
I don't know. Fear 2 was pretty good. I thought Fear 2 was definitely better than the first one. But I just never got it. Never got the... What was that?
That's my brother being an idiot.
Oh,
Did your
man.
brother play games? Did you get him on... we should get him on
Can we
the
get a guest appearance?
No.
I might just edit that to be the intro now.
Oh, what a moron.
Okay, cool. Other things I played. John.
You played John?
I played John.
Cool.
What?
What's John like?
Shit. No.
Does he
I
have
played.
a...
I'm telling John. I played Football Manager.
Oh, okay.
2012. 2012, because it was in one of my friends' libraries.
Oh, right, okay.
Sharing with, so I was like, well, no, I have no excuse not to.
Is that your first Football Manager experience?
I've played the demo of like 2 different versions of Football Manager, but it's the first time I've ever played it like for realsies, for keeps. I went through all the tutorials again, which is probably like the 3rd time I've been through the tutorials, just because that's all I ever do when I boot up a football. I go through tutorials and I'm like, well, I can't play this game, and then quit. So I played all the tutorials again, went, yeah, I know all of this, and then booted up a game, chose Lincoln fucking City. Blue Square Premiership for life. And then started playing. But the thing is, I wish it automated more. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't want to have to... Like, I kind of appreciate that they try and do some of that stuff with, like, your advisors. Like, you can get your advisors to tell you, oh, you know, we recommend you put this player as, like, you know, your corner taker, or this player is your free kick taker. They do some of that stuff, but a lot of it's just like I'm clicking backwards and forwards between the same 2 screens, like comparing like one number or something, and I just kind of wish there was a way to. I don't know what it is. It's just there's almost like too much. I don't want to have to manage like every single aspect of all of it.
Yeah.
I can't really articulate it very well because I haven't played many Football Manager games, and I'm not.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There are parts, like, once you're used to the way that game goes, it's like there's a lot of stuff that you just don't need to do yourself. Like the press conferences are just pointless.
Right.
I can't remember what the last edition I played was. I believe it actually might have been 2012 as well.
How do press conferences work?
It's a lot of like it's like dialogue choices, like.
Yeah. You get
Just,
like 4 responses to
question. And they don't really do anything. So I mean, they probably maybe affect like the morale of players and stuff, but it's like a lot of that stuff just is especially because there's not a very wide variety of questions they ask. So like by the time you're like 10 games into the season, you just start to see like repeating questions and stuff. It's like this is really, really pointless. I guess the fun thing you could do with those was that it like gives you an opportunity to type into the like little type your own answer as opposed to picking one of the
What does that even do?
one of the dialogue choices. So if you like go on a big sweary rant, it'll be like in like the thing, it'll be like, oh, and he came out with a bunch of expletives about whatever, and then he can just like storm out, which is fun. But so yeah, you could just write complete nonsense, like just a string of swear words that don't make any sense strung together, and that would be funny. But
Sounds great.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I totally. I know what you mean. I mean, I haven't
think-
played one of those since 2012. So
I think in the newer ones they have added a like light mode where you have less
Yeah.
to manage, because like I don't want to care about my reserves team. I don't
Yeah,
want to
totally,
care about that kind of shit. I just want to look after like 11 players plus like 5 people on the bench. Like
Yeah.
it's a bit overwhelming.
Mhm.
They don't really do anything to alleviate any of that at all, really. So I don't know whether I'll keep trying to hammer away at that or not. I haven't got to the real season yet. I'd like to try and get through a season and
Yeah.
see what's up, but who knows? It sucks because I started with 0 transfer budget, so that's always going to go well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't even sign a player that's worth like 1.5k on bubble. Anyway, enough about that. The last thing I played, and the thing that I probably played the most, was Lord of the Rings: War in the North.
Yeah, I saw you playing that. What's that about?
Winter's coming. The title of that game just instantly makes me think of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
King of the North, King of the North.
That probably makes like loads of Lord of the Rings fans just like seethe like with anger, just like Lord of the Rings was first, you dick.
It's funny.
Yeah,
I
but
think
which is better? I mean, let's be serious here.
I don't know, Lord of the Rings is pretty sick.
I
Yeah,
think
but
this game's better than any Game of Thrones game that has come. That's
there's only been one.
Nah,
There's been a couple.
Has there?
3 or something, yeah.
And
they're all
I mean,
shit.
as well, there are some fucking shitters of Lord of the Rings games. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that, like all Lord of the Rings games are better, but no Game of Thrones games are good. I think is
that
about
is probably true. I haven't played any of them, but they certainly don't look.
So this game, I went into it thinking it'd be a steaming hot pile of garbage. I think like most reviews are kind of like, yeah, it's not terrible.
like
they're
middling,
all just kind of surprised that it's not bad, and I think that's my just general outcome.
This isn't the
from
worst thing
playing
I've played today.
it. I mean, I've played 8 hours of it so far,
Yeah.
which is like, and I think I'm going to complete it.
That's
like,
a decent
it's actually,
investment.
yeah, I think it's quite a long game, like at least 12 hours plus. Although I don't think I'm that far in. Like the start, you can see the map and you can see all the places that are on the map, and there's fucking loads.
Hmm.
But apparently, like we are most of the way through it, like over halfway now, I think. But so first thing going into it, you boot up, and then you realize it uses the Steam voice over IP stuff. So me and my cousin playing it co-op again, and we realize we can't use Skype because there's no way to mute the other people in the game. There's just no mute button. You basically have to use the in-game voice chat or like disable the Steam chat completely. Before we realized we could just turn off the Steam stuff, we just decided, oh fuck it, we use the in-game chat. The in-game chat sounds really bad. Like the quality's not great. But the most amazing thing about it, and the thing that's blown my mind, and the reason I decided to keep it on in the end, like if you go inside, like into a massive hall, it adds echo to your voice, and then so it sounds like you're in a massive hall. Like it adds the same amount of reverb that they add onto all of the cutscene voices to your voice and the person you're talking to's voice, and that's kind of funny. Like it's amusing enough just to keep on, just to dick around with.
That's interesting, I guess.
Yeah, it's something that Armor does pretty well. They do their whole, if you get really far away from
they've
people,
got like
you
all the
can't hear them, which is really cool. So I appreciated that. I think more games should use voice in a meaningful way rather than just using party chat all the time. Like that kind of thing kind of bores me. Anyway, As for what the game is, it's it's made by the same people who made Champions of Norath, which is a fucking awesome game if you've never played it. It's an RPG. There's 3 characters. Each one is a different class. It's a loot-driven game. Like you're collecting loot all the time and constantly swapping out all your armor and weapons and stuff. You have a few magic spells you get via skills via leveling up, and the combat is really simple. It's just heavy attack, light attack. You basically smash on a dude with the light attack until a yellow thing appears above their head, and then you press the heavy attack and it'll do like a finishing move or something. And then once you've done one finishing move, you start a combo, at which point you can kind of wail on dudes a bit harder, make them stagger, and build up a combo and just sort of wreck people that way. The combat's pretty simple, nothing too special about it. But it feels good. There's a good weight to it, and most of the enemies react accordingly to like how well you're smashing them, I suppose. And that's pretty neat.
Is there a story, or is it just?
So yeah, it's basically, it runs parallel at least to the first movie, if not all 3 movies. I don't know. So at one point you go to Rivendell, and you arrive at Rivendell at the same time that Frodo and everyone else arrives at Rivendell. So you're hearing about all the events that are happening to Frodo and his companions. I can't remember what the group's called.
The Fellowship?
Fellowship, yeah. So Frodo and the Fellowship, you hear about everything that's happening to them like secondhand from all the characters you meet, and there's loads of characters that you can recognize from the movies. You spend a lot of time with the Eagles, which is kind of cool, and they talk. So you spend
like
ages.
The band, the Eagles? Or...
Yeah, they're prominent in the game. No, the fucking giant eagles from Fuck Off or wherever they're from.
That they couldn't take to Mount Doom.
Yeah, so you'll know the best bit. This game justifies that. I actually
had no problem with that. I'm just trolling.
This game genuinely answers that question.
I have no problem with that.
If you want to know why they couldn't take the fucking eagles to drop off the ring in the volcano, this game has an answer. You speak to Gandalf, and
what is the answer?
Say to Gandalf, why the fuck can't Frodo fly on an eagle?
Drop that knowledge. Why can't we do that?
Oh, it's some serious bullshit. Like, they palm it off really half-heartedly.
Oh, so you mean it? Like, is it a total cop out? Like, they don't actually justify it?
Like, it's just like, oh yeah, it's a really long and dangerous journey, and like you might fall off the eagle into the ocean or something. And then you say that's a bullshit excuse, prompt for him for some more, and then he comes up with something else about the eagles can't fly over volcanoes or something. I can't remember. Oh no, it was I remember. He says, if you're flying that far into Sauron's realm or whatever, that I would see you coming, and then you would get attacked and killed. I think was the justification. So it's just basically you're too obvious.
I actually thought that was fine enough justification without them saying it, because if I remember correctly, like when they actually get him out of the Mount Doom in the film, like that's after the ring has been destroyed. So yeah.
It's just basically it would be too obvious a target, and they'd get shot down. I think.
You'd get like fucking pincushioned by like a bajillion arrows, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do explain that, and I found that pretty amusing. when I had that dialogue choice, I was like, oh my god, they're actually going to answer that question. Anyway, before I go on anymore, I think John has to peace out.
Yep.
Okay.
It's been real.
It has been the realist. Do you want to say anything more before you go about any of the news stories, or are you just going to see you next week?
Yeah, probably. There's not really anything crazy. PS4's out, so have fun with that. I've got one pre-ordered from Amazon. I can't remember.
You keep pre-order?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go through with that as the thing, just because.
What if it breaks like 2 hours after you get it?
Money. Then I'll commit suicide.
Stock in about an hour. I had it open, kept refreshing it, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a promise to myself. I am determined to wait for the slim models of this generation before I buy them. I'm desperately.
I want to wait.
I really want to stick to that.
Crazy people.
I'm just sick of fucking. Okay, seriously. If my 360 is actually broken, that is gonna be my 9th 360. 9th, as in fucking 9. Like, more than 8, less than fucking 10. As in, you could, like, how tall would 9 fucking 360s be if you stack them up?
Pretty tall.
Pretty damn tall.
That was tall as a dude.
I do
Yeah.
not need
I've
that
heard-
bullshit again.
I've only had one PS3, which makes me a bit more
I'm only on my second PS3, which
positive
is not too
towards
bad.
Sony, but
But I mean, like the data I lost on that PS3 hard drive is crushing.
yeah.
Like the data that I cannot have anymore is shitty. Like I want to be spared this pain for the next generation.
True that.
I'm sick and tired of this happening. I really am.
Well,
Alright.
we'll see.
Anyway, peace, John.
Yeah. See you later.
Peace, John. Enjoy your PS4 if you
Well,
somehow get it before next week.
yeah, I'm gonna steal one from
It would be kind of cool if you did it right.
America. Okay.
Would you go
Right.
to work tomorrow if, like, you got up and, like, as you were going to work, like, postman arrived
Oh, it's my first day. I've got to go.
and
Yes,
he was like, yo,
I would.
PS4.
Yes,
I
I'd
would go
say.
to work.
Well, good luck with that.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, good luck with getting your PS4 early, too.
Right. See
See
you
ya.
guys later. Bye.
See ya.
See you, John.
Oh, thank God he wasn't the host of the call. That would have been awkward. All right.
Oh.
Anyway, where were we? I'm pretty sure that's all I need to say about Lord of the Rings. It's not terrible, and
What's it called again? Is it War in the North?
War in the North.
War in the North, yeah.
Alright.
I actually thought that looked kind of cool. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's actually fun.
Is it like an RPG? It is, isn't it?
It's a like loot-driven RPG.
Hmm.
First person. No, it's third person, but like it's not top down like a Diablo or something.
So it's like,
It's like behind the dude.
like
hack
The
and
Witcher.
slashy. Yeah, except hack and slashy, not like weird controls, because The Witcher doesn't have legitimate controls. I don't understand how
I
The
haven't
Witcher
really played
works.
it. I still haven't played much of The Witcher 2. I should.
Yeah.
It's in my Steam library. I should probably play that.
I really wasn't that enthralled by The Witcher 1.
I don't know. The Witcher. I didn't really like the way The Witcher 2 played. It felt very slow. So, by any real kind of. I mean, I know like a lot of that stuff is often deliberate, but like I kind of don't care. Like making something deliberately slow is not necessarily a good thing. But anyway, I might give that a go. I haven't gone back to like Lord of the Rings stuff in a very long time.
I am not massively fond of the Lord of the Rings fiction.
No, me neither. I remember liking the films when they first came out, and then I watched them again, like quite a while after I'd seen them. And yeah, those films aren't really that good. They're really not. Like, and I think like, it's an unfortunate one. Like they're one of those like they came out in like a really kind of awkward transitional period for like special effects, where like now every single special effect in those films look fucking awful, like painfully bad. So like you can't enjoy them on that sense either. But I haven't read the books though, so I can't really say anything about the books. So for all I know, the books are the way to go.
All right then. Enough Lord of the Rings talk. I feel keep it on track for a bit. I think.
Heaven forbid we go off topic.
I know, right?
Because we never do that.
Nope.
Professionalism.
100%.
100%.
10 out of 10. Can't beat 100%. Although you can on the new Giant Bomb polls. Don't know why. Have you seen that?
No.
On the forums at the moment, they're doing Game of the Generation community voting.
Oh, I know. I'm avoiding that because it's dumb.
The thread content isn't that bad. Like people are being like no
I
one's
just
being
think
an
that,
arsehole about it. It's just
I just think that the choice is like, and that's sort.
oh yeah. I'm not gonna obviously I'm not gonna take the winner as like the winner isn't the Game of the Generation. It's just the one that happens to be most popular at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious to see how that goes. But what's more interesting is that all of the polls add up to more than 100%, which is amazing. Like for example, 64 plus 39. Like how what? Okay, thanks, Giant Bomb.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what actually wins.
I think it'll be Dark Souls just because it's so popular at the moment. It doesn't look like it's going to be stopped. even though it isn't the game of the generation at all.
As long as like fucking Red Dead or something doesn't.
Although actually, I'm quite impressed that enough people are voting for Call of Duty 4. I thought people would be so sick of Call of Duty that they'd like just refuse
Yeah, that's
to
good
vote
that
for
they're
it.
kind of remembering.
People are remembering, yo, Call of Duty 4 was important. Like, for me, that's the game of the generation.
I think that's one of those, like, it's weird, but like I don't think any game could really take that title, but if that's one of the few that I'd, you know, be like, yeah, like that's a pretty legitimate choice. Like the effect that game had on this gen is really cannot be denied.
Yeah, if we're talking about most influential, obviously, it wins hands down.
And I mean, I don't know if it's really got a rival in that sense. Like, you know, obviously this goes into how you define game of the generation. If you're talking like best or favorite or whatever, then no, I would not agree with it. But you know, most influential and significant, kind of hard to argue against it.
Definitely true.
I'm really trying to think of one that like would even.
I know people say Gears of War, but I don't think they're right.
Yeah, I mean, Gears of War 1, maybe. I don't know. That was... But, like, we're still feeling the Call of Duty thing now. Gears of War is kind of gone. Like, you know, Gears of War has had its time, kind of, in a way. And that definitely was huge in the sense that, like, everything now has cover. But I feel like that's mainly what Gears was. Because, like, I still don't think any third-person shooter does cover as well as Gears. Like, it's kind of a weird system that, like, Gears, what makes Gears so good is it's so simple. Whereas Call of Duty 4 changed way more than, like, you know, doing a certain type of mechanic really well.
Yeah.
So how did Ghosts do? Has there been like a sales?
I think it sold alright. I don't think it blew. I think it did pretty well on launch. On launch day, it might. I'm going to look it up now.
GTA? Yeah, I'm going to try and find it now too.
Apparently, it's got down 50% from last year. It did not beat the GTA 5 sales record.
So now I imagine GTA 5 is now top dog for biggest launch ever.
Quite possibly.
It shipped $1 billion worth of units.
Yeah, but it didn't sell that much
because it was down from Black Ops 2.
Uh-huh.
And what did Black Ops 2 do? Didn't Black Ops 2 do like 600-700 million?
Well, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto did 800, so yes, it did less than that. I don't really care that much. Maybe next year will be the year it finally dies off. Maybe next year.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I am feeling if EA.
I mean, you've got Titanfall, you've got Destiny.
If EA can pull the finger out their ass with Titanfall buzz, like they could pull a fast one here.
Although I guess it's kind of, even though Call of Duty might fall off, they now have Destiny as well. Like that's.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Activision don't give a flying fuck if Call of Duty dies.
No. I mean,
they'll just keep milking it for what they can get for it every year.
Yeah, you imagine like
Guitar Hero, and then they'll just say, nope, it's gone now. We've got this cool Bungie thing, and then Infinity Ward will be forever making spin-offs of Destiny.
Destiny map packs.
Yep, pretty much.
Destiny weapon skins.
And then poor old Treyarch. God knows where they'll end up.
Probably just kill themselves. I don't know. I mean, they can't be doing that bad though. I mean,
Treyarch are currently making the better Call of Duty in the series.
It's steady money. I mean, those guys must be, you know, making a fair bit.
Yeah, they've worked their asses off. Like, props to Treyarch for like coming around, and then actually ending up better off out the two after the Max Exodus from Infinity Ward. I think that killed Infinity Ward's talent a little bit.
Didn't they? They took like a lot of people with them, though, didn't they?
Yeah, when went. Zimpella and
it was like 30 plus people. Something went with them.
Yeah, not surprised.
So and I still think, I mean, it might speak to more what I enjoy about games, but I still think in a lot of ways, Modern Warfare 3 is better than 2. Like if you Like I just
I
don't.
thought 2 was alright actually.
I really liked 2, but I just think like what I really like about the Modern Warfare stuff was like the Spec Ops and mission stuff, and like Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops and mission mode was fucking awesome. Like that was legitimate for me to keep playing that game, and I just didn't give a fuck about the multiplayer. Whereas Modern Warfare 2, it was only really like the last 2 tiers of missions in Spec Ops that were really, really good. Like I think the survival mode just added a lot for Modern Warfare 3. And again, I love stuff like that.
I am not a massive fan of that, so
I love the survival mode in Modern Warfare 3. That was really fun.
I've never really liked those modes very much.
Yeah, but I've just never been into the multiplayer.
Hmm.
Or the zombies. I've never really got the zombies.
That's weird that you like the
madness
other one and not the zombies one.
And I love zombies.
Same
I
people.
just don't. I don't know. It just doesn't really do anything for me.
Odd. Very odd. Shall we do some news?
We should do some news. We should talk about some news.
Because big shit happened this week. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, didn't like a console come out or something?
The Xbox 7 came out in Japan.
And sold
big
25
surprise.
units.
Yeah, all 25 of them sold out. They were all made from solid plated gold extracted from Bill Gates' teeth, and
He must have a lot of teeth.
they're all solid gold, or they were until they put them into the Xboxes.
Well, yeah, I mean, poor guy. He hasn't got any teeth now.
Yeah, they punched him square in the face and released the PS4. So the PS4 came out in America. And just America, or did it come out anywhere else? I think it's just America, right?
I think, yeah. I'm not sure. I just seem to think
No,
Japan.
Japan's next year.
Wow, really?
Yeah, Sony were just like, lol, we're not a Japanese company.
Wow.
And then refused to release the PS4.
Well, you know what?
The reasoning behind it is they said there aren't any games coming out that Japanese people would want. They're waiting until actual Japanese developers have put out Japanese games that would appeal more to that market, I think is what they said.
I mean, Japan get a lot of stuff first. It's
This is true.
it's about damn time that they have to wait.
Yeah, put them in their place.
I just like skimming over Jeff's review of Killzone. His last line is at least Rico isn't in it.
Awesome. That's glowing praise. Absolutely amazing.
Man.
So I believe the PS4 is doing pretty well as it turns out. Apparently, it sold 1 million units. We believe, if we're understanding marketing talk correctly, it sold 1 million units on its first day of release in the USA alone.
That is right. I remember when I saw that figure, my first thought was that is amazing, but then I immediately thought it's amazing that they can actually sell 1 million units in its first day. Because like you remember like the fucking 360 and PS3 launch.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I ended up looking
Oh.
up some numbers. Someone posted something from NeoGAF. Someone had compiled some launch numbers. I'm not sure if they were 100% accurate. I believe like these should be taken with a pinch of salt. But I think like the 360 launch numbers were like about 300,000 units, and the PS3 launch units were even less, like 250 or something.
Yeah. But I think that was largely due to just availability. They just, there
people wanted them, but they just didn't have
there weren't
them.
more of them in existence. So, like, yeah, I think it's cool that, like, right out of the gate, it's like, I think pretty safe to say, like, anybody that like really wanted a PS4 has probably got one. Like, that really, really, really wanted one has probably got their hands on one.
Yeah. Yeah, the graph is quite interesting to look at as well, because the way it presented it is that launch numbers have actually been generally decreasing since the PS2 launched. Game Boy Advance sold nearly 1 million, and then Xbox One sold 700, GameCube about 600.
For a split second there, when you said Xbox
100.
One, I was like, that's not out yet. I was like, oh no, wait.
The original.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
No, seriously. I was like, oh yeah, no, wait, they did that. Like,
yeah.
They called their third Xbox the Xbox One.
Arseholes. Anyway, so it'll be interesting to see how the Xbox One does, considering that 1 million units in day one in one region sounds like a lot to me.
That is a lot, yeah. I mean,
for a new an expensive piece of new hardware.
not
Yeah.
ludicrously expensive.
Oh yeah, cheaper than it has been.
Yeah.
Definitely cheaper than it has been before.
I imagine one of the main reasons the PS3 didn't sell that many was because it cost $5 billion.
I think the PS3 is like the lowest launch numbers according to this graph, since it sold less than the Vita at launch.
Like $5 billion is only a little bit off what it actually cost.
I think it's about a tenner out.
Yeah, it's like 10, 15 quid, but yeah, like
because dollars are worth nothing, right?
Fuck knows. Isn't it like 0.6? Like 1 to the 6 of a dollar to the pound? So like a dollar.
If only
like 60p.
that conversion rate held for games.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. We get fucking shafted on that shit.
Oh yeah, not as bad as Europe at least.
Oh, I know. Like we don't get it nearly as bad, but we do get it pretty bad in some areas. Like oh man, that was something I couldn't help but notice when I was in America. I was like, holy shit, this is like, damn it, like we get fucking ripped off for like everything. Well,
yeah, that's true.
a million units. That's a pretty damn good start. I mean,
that's cool shit.
300 and what is it? Well, it's $399 in America.
Yeah, and I think once someone on Giant Bomb posted something that I agreed with. I can't wait to see the European launch, because generally PlayStation do really good in Europe anyway.
Yeah, they do.
So come 2 weeks time, they could smash that, I think, in Europe.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, it's never too early to talk about, like the future of a console generation, obviously, but it's going to be really weird if like an exact turnaround happens again.
Yeah.
In this
that would be
generation.
crazy.
I mean, it seems. I think it's really weird, but like the more I've seen of like kind of games on the Xbox, I kind of want to get one. Like the more I've seen of the games that are on it, like I actually am kind of interested now. I'm like, like the more I've seen of Killer Instinct, it's like, man, I kind of want to play that. The only thing that puts me off of that is the controller, because Xbox D-pad, yo. And hearing that like the D-pad is apparently like back to being total garbage doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. But it's going to be weird if like PS4 just soars ahead immediately, like just a complete turnaround from last gen, and of course the gen before it, and then whatever. So like when we get to PlayStation 5 or Sony just going to piss away their stuff again, and
most likely, yeah.
It just seemed like I don't think I've ever seen more apparent than when they were very first announced, because it was like Microsoft did all this shit, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, did you not see what happened with the PS3?
So I mean, to follow up on the PS4 stuff and kind of linking to the stuff we're talking about now, there's been some interesting vocal minority coming out of the PS4 launch of people with busted PS4s. I don't know if you heard, some of the people who got their PS4s in the Taco Bell promotion, which meant they got it in advance, more than one person, I think, who won that competition was reporting that their PS4 arrived dead on arrival. There have been reports of HDMI ports coming broken to reviewers. I think I think it was a reviewer that said, put up an article about how they looked behind their PS4. They were trying to put a cable in, and it just wasn't getting a good connection. They spoke to Sony support, and then Sony were like, "There's a pin that's bent in the connector, and you have to basically get a screwdriver or something and push it back down before a HDMI cable will go in correctly. And if you don't do that, you will wreck any HDMI cable you put into the console. It
Wait a minute,
one of the pins on the cable.
HDMI cables don't have pins on them, do they?
They have like flat connectors. I think.
Oh right,
I
was thinking like of a.
Yeah, not like proper pins.
I was thinking like
the actual
processor pin on a motherboard or something. I was like,
if only.
Yeah, they're just I see what you mean.
But yes, so if you are purchasing a PS4, do check the HDMI port before you jam an expensive cable in there, if you happen to have an expensive cable, in which case you're a moron.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Secondly, just maybe take a bit of care.
Do you know anyone that's got like that actually buys into that stuff?
I really hope not.
Oh. I remember someone asked me about that once. They asked me about HDMI cables and was like, "Oh, do I need to spend a lot of money?" I was like, "No." It's like, go to Asda. They're like fucking 12 quid.
Go on Amazon, get them for £1.
Actually, yeah, or do
just
that
as
if you
well.
don't want to do that. But I don't know. To be honest, I'd be pretty skeptical if they were £1. That's.
I have had many a very good cable come for less than £5.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm just saying, like, I can't say I've seen a HDMI cable for £1.
Maybe £1 was stretch.
Let's have a look. Let's do some live fucking pricing checks here.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure the ones they put in with the console probably cost them £1 at best.
Oh yeah, they're probably just like standard. But I mean, okay, here we are. Gold plated HDMI. Why do they always say gold plated? It's like it's not. Anyway,
Doesn't make a difference.
£2.
Yeah,
£2.
sounds about right.
£2 and 18p.
Yep, sounds about right.
So yeah, go on Amazon.
Mhm.
Really? No. I remember. Oh, I now actually have the most. I spent like 15. It was like 15, 16 quid on one. It was like it's 25 feet long. Because I thought I'd needed that for my capture device, and then I was like, oh shit, so I actually need like a 25 feet USB cable. So now I have a really long HDMI cable that I don't use. So yeah, that's how you can spend a lot of money on a cable.
Yep, that's I wouldn't recommend it though.
No, and yeah, if you are like buying them, you need to stop because you don't need to.
Also, people with having problems with their PS4 have had it where it like will boot straight into safe mode. It won't boot at all. It will just like black screen. The blue light will just flash, like the light that goes across it that flashes as it powers up will just keep going and just will never power up. All kinds of fun shit like that. A lot of people have said it helps if you take the hard drive out, boot it up, and then put the hard drive back in. Don't know why. But that apparently is a fix for it.
That's you know, like as much as that really fucking sucks, and like if you're someone that has bought one and this has happened to you, like, you know, the excuse of, well, you know, it's bound to happen to someone, it's not going to make you feel any better, but it is bound to happen to someone. I mean, that really does suck though.
Yeah.
Like to get it out of the box and be like super fucking hyped to use it and be like, oh no, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, people have been sending them back to Sony, or apparently you can take them into Sony stores and they'll just give you a new one. Or I think people have been going through Amazon and stuff to get their sorted.
But, yeah, I'm determined to wait this time. I'm determined to wait for at least like the first revision. At least.
I really want to wait till a revision, but I also really want to get a revision because otherwise, I don't know. I'll kind of wait and see what the games are like because I'm not a massive fan of going back and playing older games. Like I like, for example, with the PS3, I wouldn't go out and buy a PS3 now to play stuff like Uncharted because none of that stuff even piqued my interest barely in the first place. Well, I don't think I would.
I think the first Uncharted isn't. I mean, even the first.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the first Uncharted. I'm just saying, like, for example, like I picked a random PS3 exclusive out of a hat. Like, what would you say is your favorite PS3 exclusive that I won't have played?
Oh, fuck knows. The Last
just
of
pick
Us
a couple.
comes to mind. I mean,
okay.
And I know, like, although that's cheating because I know you haven't played that.
No, I haven't played. Bear in mind, I have never owned a PS3, so I assume I have played no PS3 games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, The Last of Us definitely. Ratchet and Clank, Cracking Time, definitely.
Nope. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I've never had a problem going back to older games. I think
it's not even that. It's just none of them particularly interested me.
Oh yeah, there's definitely stuff like. I mean, there's still kind of early era 360 games that I haven't played because I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, there are games that come out, you know, probably for the last 12, 18 months that people have been going apeshit over. I mean, GTA 5, come on. Like,
I will probably play GTA 5 if it comes up easily.
I'd rather take a shit than play that game.
And that's not. I've had some pretty good shits.
That's not saying that the game is garbage. It's just like I just could not care less about playing it. Like it just doesn't interest me at all. So I've been going through this like HDMI cable list for fucking ages, and I've just seen one for 42 quid.
What?
Yep.
What's it made of? Fucking uranium?
No, generic black plastic by the look of this picture.
Woo!
But yeah, that's on page like 9. 42 quid. Why would anybody pay that much for a cable? Like,
What are the reviews?
it hasn't got any because thankfully
No one was.
no one's been dumb enough to buy it.
Yeah.
I remember actually that the most I've ever spent on a cable, and this was when I was like first doing game capture. This was in like fucking 2004, I think. It's an RCA female to female adapter cable, which is so you can plug in like audio out from a TV to audio out on like my capture card I had with an adapter, so you could plug in audio in directly from the console. It was fucking ridiculous just to get audio working. Like, yeah, making game videos back then was not straightforward. And even then, that I had to go through like a fucking component store to get that cable. Like, they had to order it specially, and even that was only 14 quid.
Wow.
So yeah, paying 40 quid for a generic cable, you are crazy.
I think I've paid about 20 to buy because I had to get a VGA cable for my 360.
Oh yeah.
And apparently, if you buy an off-brand one, they have like horrible ghosting and other bad things. So I was just like, look, I want this to look good. I want it to run in 1080p. I'm just going to buy the Microsoft one, and I had no choice but to pay their 18 quid extortionate price.
Yeah, I mean
there's no other alternative.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, like versus your enjoyment you're going to get out of it, like
yeah,
you know, it's I just think like the HDMI cable, like that is a standard cable. Like
I'm talking about a specialist.
Yeah, like a specialist cable, you expect to pay a little bit more, but like that's like going out and buying like a fucking £50 like kettle lead or something. Like no, like they come, go buy a fucking kettle and use that one. It'll be cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, that is true.
I don't know how we got onto like cable stuff. But
yeah, we should move on. So
is
in
there
other
any more PS4 stuff? There's not. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I haven't heard anything about the online, so I'm assuming it works. Like, I'm assuming if that.
It was a bit slow on the first day, I know that much, but otherwise it seems to be working fine. The Twitch stuff seems to work really well. I don't know if you've seen any of the streaming stuff.
No, but I am very interested in that.
Jonathan Blow, creator of Braid and soon The Witness, was streaming from his PS4 yesterday, so I watched some of that. It's okay. So there's two things about it. One, it seems to work really well. Like it just works straight up pretty well. I don't know how much fine-tuned control you have over like the kind of resolution or bit rate that you're spitting out. I believe it will by default at least, it will automatically just see what your upload speed is and then go, okay, you're going to do this bit rate, and you get to choose. I would kind of appreciate obviously being able to say, no, fuck it, I want 720 at this bit rate, or I want 1080 at this bit rate, like, or at least to be able to say I want 720, I want 1080, rather than just letting it, arbitrarily pick whatever upload quality it feels like.
Yeah.
Because I like, to at least be able to promise some sort of quality out of the video that I'm uploading.
I guess it depends on streaming, because like streaming can be dependent on the people that are watching your stream. Like some people.
Oh yes. That's why I'd want to be able to choose.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want it running at 1080.
Yeah,
necessarily all the time, because there might be people with not enough bandwidth to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in streams that like only do 720, and for me it's fine. But there's a lot of people in the stream chat that are watching a slideshow because they can't actually see it.
I mean, I have lowered my bitrate for viewers before on my stream to 480, just because
the only streaming I've ever done. I mean, it was only that live stream stuff that we did for the Giant Bomb thing, and I could have done more, but I thought no, like 480, everybody's going to be able to watch it at 480. So
yeah, 480 seems to be a decent balance.
And when you're streaming PS1 games, it's like fucking.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it
exactly.
doesn't really make much of a difference.
But the main issue I take with the PS4 streaming stuff is there's an overlay option which allows you to do the put in a video of yourself using the PS4 camera, and it also shows stream chat on your TV, so you can see what people are saying whilst you're playing without having to have a separate device open. And now that seems like a really cool idea, but the only thing is, if you turn on the overlay so that you can see stream chat, it streams the overlay rather than just the game still. Like it just always streams whatever the your full screen is, rather than just cutting out the actual gameplay, which was kind of stupid because it doesn't look very professional. Like I don't want to stream out. Like I know some people do stream out their chat onto their stream for whatever reason. I don't understand why you would ever want to see the chat on the stream you're watching, but it just doesn't look professional. The like matte gray overlay that they use. Especially if you're not using a webcam, because then there's just a blank like Facebook default profile picture like kind of thing up in the top right hand corner where your name is, and it just looks kind of shit in all honesty. And I'd rather just have it where I can stream the game and then have the overlay on so I can see chat if I wanted to. Where personally I'll just use a separate device, like I just put IRC on my phone or something and use chat that way. But I can see a use case where that you'd want that, but it doesn't make any sense to me why that streams out along with the gameplay. It should just be the gameplay. But otherwise, it seems like a pretty neat solution, and means you don't have to invest in capture cards or any of that bullshit.
Yeah, although I mean, it depends on how like capable the stream stuff is on the PS4. Like, it sounds pretty good for the most part, but like if you want to,
it uses a separate processor. Like they have a separate video processor specifically, so it doesn't take a hit on frame.
So, like, is direct like just video output working out of the box, like to record? Like, I'm not sure how that, because it does do that, right?
What are you trying to say?
You can just straight up record gameplay directly from it. Like
it automatically records the last 15 minutes of what you're doing constantly, and at any point you can hit the share button and just scrub back through those last 15 minutes and save any of it you want to keep. But I don't know how you get that off the hard drive.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think you can just put it in a memory stick and copy it off, probably.
I really hope that stuff is smooth.
But it's only 15 minutes, so I don't know if there's a way to just say, yo, just start keeping all of this. Like, just keep recording.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I remember
rather than just the last 15 minutes. Although, in the Giant Bomb PC the PS4 live stream they did on launch day, there was a moment where they actually legitimately used the highlight function to go back and get a clip. And when they went back and watched it, it was like a glitch, and it was so fucking funny. Like, it was totally worth it.
I hope that stuff is cool. I mean, I now have a capture setup, so I'm kind of set with that. And like that stuff is just a lot easier than it used to be. But I've always wanted that stuff to be like, a system level thing for a console.
Yeah.
For you to just be able to hit, like, if you could just, like, for the sake of argument and comparison, like on the Xbox, like hit the dashboard button and there was like a record tab. Just like, go across, hit record, press the guide button again, and boom, you're recording. Like,
yeah,
that would be so fucking awesome if they just made it that simple. Because like that's what I kind of want out of it.
I'm kind of dubious if they will, because as far as I'm aware, even if you have on Twitch to set auto archiving, the feature where it'll save your live stream so you can highlight and edit them and keep them permanently.
Yeah.
I think PS4, if you stream from that, it disables that. That might be a glitch, or it might be intended. I'm not sure yet.
Is the PS4 like HDMI port protected like the PS3's?
Yes.
Man.
Although they're going to add.
I know they're gonna
like. Off.
Yeah, they're gonna.
But then that's down to the publisher's discretion as to whether or not they allow.
Yeah.
That to turn off.
Because that's one of the. I mean, it's only like I have to like swap a thing on my PS3 settings to record from PS3, but that's the great thing about like recording from the 360. Like, it doesn't alter my 360 setup at all. I just have it plugged in permanently, and if I want to record, I just launch, the software on my PC. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have to change. So, like, I want it that simple, but on like a console level. Like, if you could just plug in an external hard drive, like, and just select the output drive as the external hard drive.
It won't. It isn't. I can guarantee it won't be that.
Yeah, it's not going to be. So I'll probably just stick with capture stuff, and like capture hardware and capture software just gets better and better and better. Like,
it still will be better to use dedicated software hardware.
And it's not
Sure.
that expensive now either, really. I mean,
No, I'm just saying. I think for the people who are kind of casually thinking about getting into the whole machinima and all of that kind of stuff, gameplay recording stuff, the kind of people who were like toying with the idea of buying a capture card up to now, this will kill those thoughts dead. Like if you're just a real casual, streamer or recorder, then there's no reason to ever buy a like £200 Hawpage or 120, 130, whatever they are nowadays.
you can get a really good one for £100. And from what I hear, like the Hawpog or whatever they are,
Hawpage, I call them. I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah, I don't know either. Everybody I've known that's had one of them, it breaks like after like a year or so.
Interesting.
It just dies. Like first thing, like your audio gets really shitty and out of sync, then your video goes, and then it just stops working.
I've always wanted one of those Ava Media portable live.
Oh yeah, they must be really cool.
You can record without a PC. Those things have always seemed dope.
My only fear with them, and I've had it happen to me quite a few times, is you think you're recording, you finish what you're actually doing, and then you realize you weren't recording, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have like a giant glowing red light that's like, you are recording now, so you can actually check when you're recording or not.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'd be really interested to see how they work. Like, I've never actually seen one.
What do you mean?
You know those Ava Media things? Like, you just...
what do you mean by how they work, sorry?
I've never seen one, in use. Like, I've never seen one being used. Like,
I mean,
they're
just...
Do you just plug them in like a bridge and then like hit a button on it or something?
Run the output cable through the device and then into your TV, put a memory card in it, and then click go on it.
That is awesome.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
That
I imagine it's got like compression stuff in that built in then.
Yeah, I think it does like encoding on the fly. I don't know what kind of options it has there, but it obviously has its own processor and so on in there so that it can do all that stuff inside the thing. And even if you were like recording PC gameplay, like you could offload that so you don't take a frame rate hit if you're recording something that's pushing your PC, which is neat.
Yeah, that is cool.
So anyway, shall we move on with some more news?
We should.
In other PS4 news, Uncharted has been announced for the PS4.
What a shocker!
Fucking surprise, surprise. I really don't like Uncharted as a series, to be honest.
I was just about to say, and it probably still won't be good. You beat me to my burn. Yeah, I've another one like Uncharted. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Don't get it. I do not get the hype for those games. I mean, even like the first one is kind of accepted as being like the shit one. But like Uncharted 2 being like what it was, it's like, really? Really? Like, at best average gameplay with fucking garbage platforming stuff, and yeah, the character stuff is cool, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it that much.
I mean,
I'm sure if John was here, he would say something. He's left us these news stories, but I think we've worked out we don't really care much for Uncharted.
I wonder. I haven't even finished Uncharted 3. I only played like about the first half hour of that game. So I don't even know how Uncharted 3 ends. So I don't know what would be going on in Uncharted 4.
Nathan Drake.
Surely that must be a kart racing game.
Thinking
about it, that has to be the kart racing Uncharted, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's going to just be like Twisted Metal, but Uncharted, which could actually be kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Nathan Drake is like, in an impossible situation, and he murders a bunch of people.
Crack core of the... I don't know. I don't care. Moving on.
Yeah.
Last of Us story DLC is announced. Do you know anything about this?
I saw the trailer.
Is it good?
No.
All right, moving on. No, seriously, what's it about? Is it like related to the main story, or is it a side?
It's set before. I know you haven't played The Last of Us, but
I thought you had. I'm going crazy.
No, I have.
Oh, sorry, yeah. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, it's set like before. Not to get into spoiler stuff, but there's a particular thing that happens to Ellie before you meet her, and from what I can tell, it's gonna cover that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not really interested in it. Like, I don't know. Like, this sort of stuff really annoys me. That like, just leave it the fuck alone. Just there doesn't need to be any more of that game. Like that game, the story aspect of that game and how it tells its story. Like I don't need to go back to it. Like I'm not saying it's going to be bad. It's probably going to be perfectly fine. But I have no desire to revisit, anything other than the story they present to you in that game as it is. So
yeah,
I'm good.
Fair enough. All right. In other news, last week we mentioned that the WoW movie is still a thing that's going to happen at some point in our lifetime, and
Maybe.
Apparently more news has come out about it. Apparently, Colin Farrell has apparently read the World of Warcraft movie script and doesn't know what is happening with it. I don't know what that means. Can you decipher that for me?
Who's Colin Farrell?
An actor.
I know his name. I'm trying. What's he in?
Don't ask me.
Okay. Damn, I'm usually pretty good with actors and what they've been in. He was in Phone Booth, wasn't he? And he was in Daredevil. He was what's his face? He was Bullseye.
I've seen parts of Phone Booth.
Phone Booth was okay. I remember liking that film. Cool. I guess. The script is not garbage, so cool.
Yeah. All right. In more
video
relevant
game
news.
Movies, stop making them.
Yes, please, for the love of God.
Well, don't necessarily. I don't want to say stop making them because eventually they'll figure it out. Like I still have faith in that. Eventually they'll get it right, and eventually we will get an awesome video game film. Maybe in like 100 years, when it's just a virtual reality simulation. But hey, never say never. Maybe we'll get a good one.
No.
Nah, probably not. Probably not.
Cool.
That reminds me, I'm gonna look up what's it called, Prince of Persia, because that was like the most successful one. Holy shit, that cost 200 million.
What, Prince of Persia?
Yeah.
What the fuck,
dude?
What
budget.
did they spend it on?
100 Jake Gyllenhaal's abs. 150 to 200 million, and it grossed 335. So yeah, there probably won't be another one of them.
Never mind.
That was a pretty good film though. Like it was a good, fun movie. Not $200 million fun, but how did they spend that much on it?
I literally have no idea.
Is he really like that expensive of an actor?
She shouldn't be.
I mean, he's a good actor and all that, but like, that film isn't exactly like an acting showpiece.
No.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's not fantastic.
I
And like
agree.
it does what's it called? Like I think it handled like the gamey stuff in it pretty well. Like, there was plenty of like good callbacks to the game. I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah,
it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, me too. I don't know how the fuck they spent that much on it, but
No. Okay. Moving on with the news for this week. Fallout 4 rumors have been spreading like wildfire since Bethesda registered a domain. I believe it's called Survivor2299. Is that correct?
Probably. I don't know. This is the first time hearing about Fallout 4.
Okay, cool. So they've registered this domain. I'm going to just double check that it's Survive 4. I can't spell 2299. I believe that's what it's called. Oh, it's the Survivor 2299, and I need to close this website because there's an annoying Morse code noise when you go on it. So on the webpage, there is a countdown timer to something. It doesn't say what. There is I think a Vault Tech logo at the bottom or something, some Fallout related logo at the bottom. And people who have gone through the code for the website have found the style sheet is named Fallout.css, and there's a bunch of links to some Fallout website images hidden in there. So it seems like that website's a teaser for a new Fallout game for next gen. So everyone's obviously been speculating like crazy about what that's going to be about. Are you big on the Fallouts?
No, I played Fallout 3. I
played Fallout 3. I enjoyed enough of it, but I don't like it as much as an Elder Scrolls.
No, I found it really boring.
Yeah, I don't understand the people who like are like, yeah, Elder Scrolls fucking sucks. Why don't they just make Fallout? Those people stink. Like, fair enough if you like Fallout better. I don't think it's as good. But no need to be
No,
a
neither do
dick
I.
about
I
it.
mean,
Like,
the last Elder Scrolls I really got into was Morrowind. I did play quite a bit of Skyrim, but yeah, I don't know. Fallout just, I just doesn't do it for me.
no,
You know, I don't think they're
don't-
bad. Just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah,
You know?
the fact it's a shooter is an off-put to start with.
Yeah, like
The
shitty melee combat is easier to put up with than shitty shooting combat. I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I think shitty shooting combat is kind of hard to say. But yeah, like you really kind of like having to wrestle with like, oh, this gun just like is a lot harder than I'm just gonna wait and hit you with my giant fucking axe that kills you in 2 hits.
Yeah, and I don't think the whole world and lore of it is as good as what Elder Scrolls has going for it. I mean, Elder Scrolls has a lot more to draw from, being more games in the series and a much bigger world. Like, it's not limited, by the Fallout real world setting. Like
Thinking of this, I wonder how long it will be before we get like an Elder Scrolls 6. You know, because I know there's the online. When is the online one due out?
Gosh, next year, early, I think.
So it'll probably be. I imagine it'll be a while before we get.
They're being made by a different studio, so.
Yeah, but even so, like I imagine they'll.
But yeah,
give,
Bethesda
they'll give it a bit of time. Surely they won't be like, they don't online and then like
they
here's
don't.
the new one.
They obviously are happy to wait a while before releasing a new Elder Scrolls game.
I really hope they tighten up the game shit this time around. Really hope
people say that every time.
Yeah, I know.
Elder Scrolls game comes out.
I really hope. I just really hope they do.
I don't go to it for that. Like that's.
Oh, me neither. But like after
like Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I think a multiplayer Elder Scrolls game is. Well, I'm not going to say it's going to just suck straight up. I'm just going to say it's not going to be for me because I 110% do not go to Elder Scrolls games for the combat. I barely go there for the quests anymore, considering how poor most of Skyrim's quests were. I go there for the atmosphere and the lore, and like
but just making it a little bit better.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
it won't hurt, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's like I'm just not expecting it. I'm saying if they add multiplayer to an Elder Scrolls game, it'll be a shit multiplayer game because the combat's no fun. And you can't like go around and experience atmosphere in multiplayer. Like you play in multiplayer with people are gonna just goof off and attack shit all the time. That's why I play the whole game stealthily, because then I can one-hit kill all the enemies and just fucking ignore all that bullshit.
Skip the combat. I mean, I'm the same. I just prefer to have a big giant axe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I agree. Like the multiplayer is a mechanics attraction. Like that's why you play multiplayer.
You don't play multiplayer for immersion. Like
no, you play multiplayer to beat people. Like that is why you play it. Like I mean, it's simple competitiveness. Like I fucking own that guy or whatever. I don't play Injustice against other people for story. I play it to watch people get angry because I know that's a different story. Grundy makes people angry, but like I don't really. I think like I'm not as opposed to it. I guess like I think like one extra person maybe like just having someone there to like kind of just wander around with could be interesting, but
maybe
in the sense of like having a group of people, like a dozen people, then no, like I don't want that at all. In Elder Scrolls, I mean, I think my patience, like the main reason I'd like them to tighten up the gameplay a little bit, like is just because my patience for that kind of stuff is completely gone. Like if there is another Elder Scrolls and it plays like Skyrim, like I'll be done straight away. Like I just won't play it. So I just really hope they just tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for like Ninja Gaiden combat here. Just give me something solid that feels cool. I don't need to be looking for recovery frames and shit. Just give me something that doesn't make me feel like I'm swinging a balloon. like when I'm actually have a sword, like you know, like give me something like that, and I'm cool.
All right. I guess that just gives us one more news story. I don't know anything about this next news story. Do you want to skip it? I don't care about Spike TV stuff.
Yeah, I definitely don't care. Fuck that.
All right, let's leave that one out then. Cool. The last thing I want to mention is I am excited because Unity 2D, so you know the Unity game engine, the game creation tools called Unity. Yes.
Quite
you've used them. Okay, awesome. The latest.
I made a
of
game
Unity...
in Unity.
Oh wow, awesome. The latest edition of Unity added 2D, like native 2D tools and workflow. So
that sounds really
you no longer have to fucking basically hack the engine to make a 2D game, because all the stuff that in Unity was 2D before was just they just locked the view perspective and then changed it from I can't remember what it is to orthographic view, so that it was just like it wasn't perspectivized, like things didn't expand as they went away to the horizon, or like points didn't narrow, that kind of thing. But now it has proper support for that and for sprites and so on, and 2D physics, all of that kind of stuff built in. So I'm looking forward to playing with that, and I'll probably use it in the upcoming Ludum Dare at Christmas, and that should be fun.
God, I haven't used a game engine in fucking ages. I don't remember the last time I used one. It was probably like the summer after I finished uni, I think was the last time I used a game engine.
Really?
And I can't remember fucking anything.
Yeah. Nice one.
That is, I think that's the problem with that sort of stuff. If you take time away from it, like, you're fucked. You just you forget like everything. And like, probably Unreal was the one I used the most, and I got very comfortable with Unreal. But thinking about it now, I'm like, oh, I can't even remember how to make a fucking door. Like, how do you make a door open? Like, and that's like a really basic thing.
All right then. I think that pretty much does us for this week. I can't think of any more news, unless you had anything in particular.
No, not really.
Cool. I guess.
What's the calendar looking like for the rest of the year? Obviously, there's like the Europe console launches, but game-wise, there's not really a lot left.
I am not interested in any games coming out this year. I mean, in fact, I've realized the only month I even remotely care about anymore is next March, which has Dark Souls 2 and Titanfall coming out at the same time.
Is Titanfall 360? Not 360. Xbox One exclusive or PC?
It's on Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PC.
Oh, it's on 360.
Mm-hmm. You're actually correct.
I thought so. I thought I wasn't making that up.
I don't know if they'll be the PC version will be launching day and date, but it should hopefully obviously be in the same month. Dark Souls is launching a week afterwards.
I don't even have an idea of the next game coming out I give a shit about. I
mean, I kind of am tempted to upgrade my PC earlier than I was anticipating just for that month, but having seen in light of recent news that DDR4 is coming out soon, with much improved RAM speed and size on a chip, I kind of want to hold off a bit and wait until the next gen of Intel CPUs at least, and see if they support it. But they got delayed. I don't know if you know, the next gen of Intel processors got delayed until the second half of next year because they weren't happy with the yields they were getting.
I'm already considering a processor upgrade, which is kind of bad.
What are you on?
i5.
Which one though?
Oh.
Which generation? 3 something or 2 something?
3. Oh fuck! What is it?
I definitely wouldn't upgrade to a 4. It wouldn't be worth it.
I can't remember. But like that's why I got the motherboard I got, really, so I can like go to a much better processor if I need to. I did go like over.
It would probably only be worth it if you went to an i7, like a 4770K.
Yeah, that's
kind
of.
Like, you wouldn't
I want
notice the difference
something like
if you did anything else.
I want something that's just fucking
balls
demonic,
out.
though. Like,
I
want something that's just like ridiculously fast.
I want one of those Intel Extreme fuckers that runs at like 4.5 out the box.
Yeah, I really do want something like fucking just like ridiculous. But
I mean, I'm waiting for Nvidia's next line of graphics cards to come out, and I think I'm going to plop down on an 880.
Because like graphics, like the graphics stuff, I'm not like for me like games. Like I've never been much of a graphics person. It's like I don't like I don't think there's any games coming out now that look like shit. Like I think we've got to a certain point where like games are looking pretty damn nice. Like no matter what, but like it's everything else for me. Like I like the frame rate to be like ridiculous. Like 60 is like not even like I want 60 plus. Like I don't want 60. I want 60 plus. Like going below 60 is not an option. Like that's more important to me than like stuff looking nice. I mean, if you can have both, that's great. But
yeah,
I would rather have a bitchin' frame rate than like running DMC like on my PC and it's like 250 frames a second. It's like, oh god,
yeah.
it's so smooth. Like it's ridiculous.
Have you got a 120 hertz monitor yet?
No way. My monitor's actually really old.
You should, if you like, frame rate, you should get a higher refresh rate monitor so you can actually see all them frames.
Yeah, I might do. It's one of those things like I have to really be careful because if I start down that road, it's not going to be good.
No,
it's not going to be good for my wallet. It's really not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like a monitor upgrade is definitely my next thing. I think I'm getting tired of having like two screens. I just want one that's big.
Right.
Like, I want to get like a nice 30-inch panel and just have that on its own rather than like two screens. But we'll see. Like I think I'm very happy with like my PC for now. I'm not going to do like a serious upgrade for a while unless like I win money or something. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But and hopefully nothing is wrong with my PC because it has been acting up over the past couple of weeks.
Yes, so is mine. Mine.
It's not good. It fucking crashes in boot, and it's annoying because it's one of those problems that like I kind of fixed, and like for months I didn't have it. I was like, oh yeah, I finally figured it out. And then over the past couple of weeks, it's just come back like with a vengeance. It's like,
this is the curse of being a high-end PC owner. Is something will always go wrong. You just know inevitably.
It's like the higher spec your machine is. Like it's kind of a cliche, but it is true. Like the higher spec, like the more things it has, the more things that can go wrong.
Like there's at least 1 month a year. I'm like, well, I spend like several weekends or something just trying to fix something because something's gone crazy. Like
I'm
last
not bothering this time. I'm tapping out. I'm taking it to a PC shop. I
really
can't be arsed.
Wow.
No.
Right.
It's one of those things where like I could figure it out, but I just don't have the time. I cannot be bothered to spend like 2 or 3 weekends like figuring out what it is, whereas like I could just pay someone like 40 quid and they could do it for me in a day.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And
recently my hard drive was trying to fail and then it stopped. Man. It stopped failing and now it's fine. It's awesome.
I don't get the satisfaction from like fixing that shit anymore. Like like having to do it for so long. Now it just pisses me off. Whereas before,
I never got satisfaction from fixing it. I have satisfaction when my PC's working. That's when I'm satisfied.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Like you like when you have a problem and like you figure it out, and like I used to get
I'm just
a
talking
real
about
sense of like like my PC is working now, and I did that. I fucking solved that problem. Whereas now I'm just like, oh fuck it, like I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
It's such a headache, and I'm just gonna fucking pay someone to do it, and. And they get to feel like you can't do it. So, I get my karma on as well. They go, oh man, he's coming to us because he can't do it. It's like, no, I could. I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really hope it's not. I'm pretty certain it's a RAM problem. I don't know what's going on with it. But I'm pretty certain that's what the problem is. I hope to fucking Christ isn't the motherboard.
Yeah.
Because, oh god, that's going to be one hell of a headache.
That's I'm not looking forward.
The one silver lining is like the motherboard is under warranty for like 5 years, so I at least won't have to buy another one. But like the reason I spent like over 100 quid more on my motherboard was because I was like, I don't want to have to worry about buying a motherboard for like a long fucking time. So I'm going to buy this one.
Yeah.
And now I'm good. Like, for a good few years at least.
I'm not looking forward to when I do my upgrade. I'm going to have to basically gut this case and then go through cable management again. And I have to unmanage the cables that are already in there and then remanage them. And
my cable management is terrible.
Oh, God.
So
mine's not good. It's just, I basically just, I got as many zip ties as I could and then tied all the cables behind the motherboard so I didn't have to see them.
Yeah.
And then I can still see them.
One thing that I'm probably going to do, and like if I had the room, I would do it. Like my old PC is a complete PC bar the optical drive because I just took that out and put it in my new one. It's weird that like in a few years, like probably not even in a few years, probably like next year or the year after, like optical drives are going to be like not standard, which is that's fucking weird. Like the thought of I mean like my case has got a door on it, so like I don't actually see my disk drive.
Yeah.
Like on like a regular tower, it's like just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
This is a what's it called? A fractal design one with like the door on the front.
Yeah.
So I don't even see my optical drive, and I forget it's there.
Yeah.
Like because I hardly ever use discs anymore. But I'm going to in a very long time, hopefully when I actually do a full new build, I'm just going to like turn my old PC into like an offline machine and like do offline shit on that. Like video editing, like rendering, all that bullshit, I'm just going to leave it for like the offline model, so I never have to hook it up to the internet. Yeah. And I don't have to fuck around with like license keys and shit for Windows.
Should get like a network drive for the
show. I can like leave all my video editing stuff for like what, like the reason I would do that on my old PC, but my old PC isn't good enough to do it. Like it isn't good enough to render like HD stuff in a timely fashion. So yeah, I use this one for it.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with when I upgrade, because I'm gonna have like the majority of a decent computer. Like all I need to do is throw a new cooler and a power supply at it, and I basically have another computer. And I don't know whether I'll be able to sell that or what. I don't know how to go about selling it. I don't even know what I would do to sell it.
Yeah. I always keep old tech, like always.
I'd like to, but I just don't know how to keep it in a condition where it's not going to die whilst I leave it.
I like it. I like having old stuff around. Like, I don't know why. It's always been a thing of mine. Like I love old technology. I have like tons of old shit. Like this, I'm never ever gonna use. I just like having it. It's like, yeah, I remember this. Like, I remember what I use this for.
I'd kind of like to turn it into a PC, but that requires me to buy a case, a power supply, and whatever the other thing I said, a cooler, and that sounds like too much effort.
I was tempted to get a water cooler the other day. I was thinking about it.
Like a closed loop one, rather
than closed circuit one.
Yeah. I have the H50, and
they're not that expensive. Like
like mine was like 50 quid.
They're really not, and like apparently they are like really worth it. So.
Yeah, they're as good as a really chunky, huge air cooler.
Yeah,
so
I've never really looked into. I think it's just kind of maybe the idea of water in my PC.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like, doesn't seem like a great idea.
When I was working in the summer, one of the dudes there had built his own PC, and like you said, the first time he built his own PC, he did his own custom water cooling. I was like, dude, on your first ever PC build, you put in water. You are fucking insane.
This he manually has water tubes in it. Like it has the holes for them.
Oh yeah, mine has the holes for it. Yeah. But I mean,
stuff in it.
He took his graphics card. He didn't
How
buy
do they work that shit. Do you like?
He didn't buy one of the graphics cards that's like you just plug the pipes into it. He took a reference model graphics card, unscrewed it, and then screwed on like a faceplate for the water cooling stuff to just a standard graphics card, and then like reassembled it, and then put that in his machine. Then did his own water cooling, and that's insane. Like I would never do that.
How do they like regulate temperature? Like,
what do you mean? The water?
Yeah, but like, how does I have no idea how like non-closed circuit water cooling works.
Yeah.
So like how does all that shit connect to your hardware, like to conduct heat?
So like you just have
I've never seen it either. I might actually
Basically, replace the cooling block on like your CPU, like the heatsink that we would usually put on a CPU. You take that off, and then you just basically put like a big fat faceplate, like a metal, really conductive metal, stick it to the front of the thing, run water into it, and then the water like flows up and down like all the way along it. And then because the water's a good conductant of heat, and you don't use normal water, obviously, you use like special stuff that's even better at conducting heat.
Yeah.
It does the water, the water obviously absorbs all the heat, and then it flows out of your PC, and then you cool it outside the PC. Like you blow it off through a radiator or something, or chill it some other way.
Oh, on a completely unrelated note, I saw this fucking awesome like tech post. It was just one of those like kind of random internet articles. Someone took the guts of a 360 and a PS3 and like put it into a tower.
Really?
Like with separate video out for each. So they had like, that with like two TVs, but like the 360 on one TV, the PS3 on the other TV. That's fucking awesome. Like,
have you ever seen the Xbox laptop?
No.
Someone took apart an Xbox, like took the motherboard and everything, then sandwich packed it together, put it in a laptop chassis, and then attached a screen to it, and then.
That reminds me. Did you see that PS3? Not PS3, sorry. The PS4 teardown.
Yeah.
Like the motherboard in that thing looks like fucking paper.
Yeah, most console motherboards are like shit.
When he took it out, like, dude, like that thing looks really fucking thin. Like, and not in a good way. Like, not like good, like thin in a real flimsy looking way.
Yeah.
It did not look cool, but oh, you see, right, speaking of like weird homemade shit, have you seen the portable GameCube?
Yes,
somebody made.
I think so.
That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, I think I know the one you mean.
That is legit.
Anyway, I think that does.
I think we're about done. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
We've gone like off topic enough where I think we're done.
yeah. We had a nice little off topic section there at the end.
It's not strictly off topic. That's all relevant
that
stuff.
was about video games, so I think that counts. That one counts.
PC stuff is getting. It'd be interesting to see like how PC stuff is handled now with new consoles and shit. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that stuff, because I think like over the past like few months I've definitely experienced like some of the real downsides of PC gaming. Like Arkham Origins, perfect example. Like, you get it out of the box, you put it, like, it goes into Steam, it should be super straightforward, you put in your product key, oh, it doesn't work because for no apparent reason, it just doesn't work. And it's, it is sort of part of the course. It's like, it is part of the risk every now and then that is going to happen. I mean, it's kind of my fault in a way, but actually, no, I take that back. It's not my fault at all, but like, I do like still having a box. I like having a disc. I could have just downloaded it on Steam, and I probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I saw a topic on Giant Bomb today. Actually, someone has like a digital copy of Battlefield 4, and apparently it's completely fucked. And I don't know, like his copy is just completely busted. And like he was coming from the point of he can't do anything with it because it is a digital copy. Like, he's fucked basically. Like, he can't get his money back or anything. Whereas I can send my disc copy back. So and other stuff like random fucking data disappearing. Like, I lost all my Arkham Asylum data somehow. I went to play that earlier in the week. Booted it up in Steam, and all my data was gone.
Oh, shit.
Like, dude, like, that sucked. I lost all my RE5 data not too long ago.
Wow. Sounds like you're having a great time.
I don't know how. Like, this could be why I'm so fucking pissed at all games.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, just I had like a real shitty run of luck recently when it comes to games. But I think the plus side of like PC stuff is worth it. I think like, I remember, like, just, I mean, I was playing a DMC4 this week on the 360 and was like, wow, this frame rate is rough. And that's a solid fucking game on 360, but it is, noticeably smoother on a PC. I'm not a PC fanboy or anything. I mean, I don't prefer anything. I just prefer the best version of the game. And the argument that like, oh, it's not that much smoother. It's like, no, it really is. Like,
Yeah.
when you're getting like double or triple the frame rate, like it's factually inaccurate to say that, oh, there's no difference. It's like, no, there is a difference. Like, there is a difference between 30 and 60. There's a big fucking difference.
You're crazy if you say otherwise.
I don't get how like, that's one of those things, you know. I mean, every now and then like a topic will come up about it, like, oh, I don't see the difference between 30 frames a second and 60 frames a second. And I just think, how can you not notice the difference?
I think it's just people who just haven't like experienced it for extended periods. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
maybe. I mean, going back and forth between it, I kind of
like if you just play on console, say, and your only experience of 60 FPS is Call of Duty, then
yeah, I guess.
I don't think I would be that fussed about it. But if it was like on PC, you play every game at 60, and then you go back to a console and you're playing Saints Row at like 25 FPS at best, then you're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think, like definitely when it takes a hit below 30, but even going back from, I can't remember what game it was, but I think it might have been Rage. I can't remember if I've got my release date stuff, but I played Rage a shitload when it came out.
Yeah.
I really liked that game, and then I went back and played Gears of War, and it hit me like a brick. I was like, holy shit, this isn't 60 frames a second. Like, this is 30 frames. Like, this isn't 60. And like, you don't usually get that on a console. Like, you know, you usually get that from like going from, you know, a PC to a console game. But like, you know, Rage really hit that home. It's like when I went and played Gears, it felt like slow motion. Like, that might sound over the top, but it really did. Like, and that was on the same system.
Yeah.
So.
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I don't get how you cannot see a difference.
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Anywho.
Yeah, shall we call it?
I think we should. I think we're about done.
Cool.
We have no Game of Thrones to talk about, so.
Not yet. Keep on waiting.
Although,
not long now. 6 months or so.
Yeah, like April-ish, isn't it? March, April-ish.
Maybe less. 5 months.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, yeah, if it starts in March, it's like 4 and a bit.
Sweet. Can't wait.
I'm really, you know, at the risk of talking about Game of Thrones too much, I'm interested to see how they're going to handle some stuff in this series. I'm reading
Where have we got up to again? We've got up
We're
to...
at the Red Wedding has happened, obviously.
Yeah, so we've got Zombie Catelyn to come.
Yeah, and what's it called?
Does Arya go to ninja school yet, or is that later on?
No, I think that's not.
That's way later. Okay, that's.
I think she goes at the end of the third book, but I don't think.
Yeah, because she hasn't. She's still with the Hound, right?
Yeah, she's still with the Hound.
Yeah, because there's all the shit where. By the way, if you're still listening and you don't know shit about Game of Thrones, please leave now, because we're going super spoiler territory.
If you haven't listened, if you haven't read up until the end, if you haven't read
all the books, just go.
Stop listening.
Just leave. Stop listening now. This is your final warning. So, I'll leave a gap, just in case. All right, you should be gone now. So the bit where she stabs the Hound, or does she? I can't remember if she leaves him to. Oh no, she leaves him to die when he gets poisoned.
She just leaves him to die.
He's dying from like a wound or something, and she leaves him. There's the bit where she meets up with Brienne, and Brienne.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's when she stabs the dude.
She stabs the dude then. Yeah, and then there's the bit where she meets up with Brienne, and then Brienne gets her face smashed in.
Yeah, well, bitten off, really.
Oh yeah, whatever. Like, she gets fucked up as well.
She gets fucked up.
Oh gosh, what else was there?
There's a lot of stuff. There's I've just got past the It's funny. I changed my at work. We have this like kind of.
Oh yeah, Joffrey's hasn't been poisoned yet.
Yeah, Joffrey's still alive in the TV show. So because that's going to be interesting.
Oh.
I really hope they make that
wait.
like.
I can't fucking wait.
I hope he coughs up his fucking lungs in the TV show because you know in the book, I still get bitter about this. In the book, it's not enough. It's like, in the book, it's just like, oh, he starts choking and grabbing his neck, and oh, he's dead. It's like, no, he should have like vomited up his entire intestines and like his head should have exploded. Like in the book, he just seems to die so quickly and like not painfully at all, which is not what anybody wants.
No.
Like, and I really hope in the show, like, you know, he just explodes or something. Like, I really hope they, you know, I mean, they made the Red Wedding even worse, so like, why not make, you know,
by killing an extra character for no reason
yeah,
whatsoever.
why not make the Purple Wedding even worse?
Yeah,
that's
true.
But yeah, what was it? Yeah, I've just got past where in the third book, part 2, where Sam and Gilly, is it Gilly or Jilly? I can never remember.
Yeah,
anyway.
I say Gilly.
Yeah, I say Gilly. But yeah, they've met Cold Hands.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you were saying last week.
Yeah, and I changed my picture at work. We have like an avatar system like on our like database thing where you can like have a picture. And I changed mine to a picture of Cold Hands as kind of a nod, and a couple of people asked me about it. I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "You'll find out," because no one at work has read the books, so I didn't really tell anybody. I was like, "Hey, you might find out next year," and they didn't really get it. But yeah, but like I swear, in the show, Sam is like almost back at the wall, isn't he? He's like pretty damn close. Or is he back?
No, he already met not Tom, and the other one, Bran. They already met, didn't they? They already met at Nightfall or whatever it is.
I swear in the final episode when because John arrives back at the wall in the last episode of season 3, doesn't he? I think he's got like all the arrows in him, and he's like, "Oh, dude, bitch shot me."
Yeah, he got shot by the girl. Can't remember her name.
Ygritte. Like Ygritte. 3 times.
And yeah, that was uncalled for.
Yeah, like I mean, come on, woman, like,
bitch, please.
Man's got to do what a man's got to do. Get over it. Jesus, like you're supposed to be all wild and shit. Like anyway, moving on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sam's back at the wall. I swear he is. But anyway, even so, like, are they just going to completely skip Cold Hands in the show? Or are they going to bring him in later? Because
that bothered me.
He's really important, like especially in Bran's story. So
yeah, in Bran's story, he's so important, and like he doesn't like when.
And he's fucking badass too.
When
like...
Sam meets Bran for the first time in the book, like when they meet at that castle. He's like, you've got to come this way. There's someone needs to meet you or something. And then they go and meet Cold Hands. And then they're like, who the fuck is this? And then they go with Cold Hands eventually. But in the TV show, he was just like, we need to go. Like, he was trying to leave. And then they were like, no, please take us to the other side of the wall. Like, it was complete bullshit.
In the show, they skip, like, Sam and Gilly get attacked by the White, don't they? But they don't get attacked by like all the
zombies. A million crows.
Yeah,
yeah.
They didn't include that bit.
Oh.
And what else? I was looking up like the episode names for season 4, sorry.
Okay.
And episode 9, I think, is the only one that's got a name at this point, and that's called Castle Black. And like, I don't know if that's going to be when like the wildlings attack it, but
that seems
way too far.
Too long.
Yeah, they attack
really soon.
I think there's like one chapter in between John getting back to the wall and them attacking it.
Yeah,
and they all get fucking
dying, and then everyone.
Yeah, Ygritte dies. I wouldn't be surprised if they handled that differently in the show.
Yeah, they'll probably change that.
They'll probably change that.
Most certainly.
Which I really don't think they should. I think that's a pretty important. That kind of like really ends John's like wildling bullshit. Like she dies.
Just like, John's straight up now.
Yeah, John is like straight up like Night's Watch, Lord Commander, fucking chops off Slint's fucking head like a boss. Bitch. Although that's not going to be like for probably another season yet. So, but still, we have that to look forward to. Spoiler alert. But you should have stopped listening like 5 minutes ago if you hadn't read the books. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really intrigued how they're going to pace it. I really think they're going to try and like fill at least half of every episode with the boring shit from the 4th book so that they can like have, you know, something entertaining to pad that stuff out.
Yeah.
Because I think some of the stuff they've got left to do is like they just seem really off in terms of timeline when reading the book again. It's like where are they going to do this? Where are they going to do this? Like Joffrey's wedding is like I'm pretty close to that where I am in the book again, and yet where they end season 3, I don't think they're really anywhere near it. So
no, because there's the last thing I think from that, like those characters, was the Red Wedding. Like there wasn't really any progress from
yeah,
there.
that was hard to read that again. That was one thing I was interested in. I need to ask someone this at work because they've only seen the show. In the book, the actual like scene, like where everyone starts getting killed, is I think it's around 3 pages. I think maybe 3-4 pages. Like that was one of the things that like threw me off so much when I first saw it. Like it seemed to happen so quick. It was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like people are getting killed. What is going on? Like, I wonder if it was the same in the show. Like, because when I watched the show, like, I knew that was coming, like, right from the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, like, oh, this is where it happens. I wonder if, like, people watching it, I wonder if any of them were like, wait, what? What just happened? Like,
I don't think it would have had the same effect. In the book, it was a very much like I carried on for a few pages expecting it to be a dream, then went back and went,
yeah,
I need to read this
too.
again. That just happened. And then I was like, shit, that just happened. And then that was all I could think about for like the entire next chapter. Like I can't even remember what the next chapter was. Like I probably didn't remember any. There's probably something really important in there that I just didn't read.
Pretty sure it's an Arya chapter. I only know that because I've read the book recently. You know, I'm reading it now. But yeah, I was the same. Like I read that. I read like the first page of that scene 3 times in a row because I was like, what? Wait, what is happening? Like, why would he have chainmail on? Oh, and then like, you know, after the 3rd time I read it, I was like, oh shit. Like, you know, the penny dropped. Whereas in the show, like they kind of, you know, like she doesn't bump into him. Like, what's his name? Roose is all like, yo, check what I've got on underneath this. And it's like, whoa.
I don't know.
What the fuck? The hell? What the hell is this blog?
Now. You can look at that later.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I really hope they kind of handle some stuff differently how they did in season 3. I really think they're fucking up on the Daenerys stuff quite a bit in the show. I don't know how you feel about that stuff.
They did the scene where she got the Unsullied well enough. That was pretty.
The
book had me like fist pumping because it was so unexpected and awesome. Like she was going like full retard, and then all of a sudden was like, "Nah, I had a plan all along, bitches."
Yeah, I think that bit is done better in the book.
It's definitely done better in the book. But I mean, that was always the case because in the book it was fucking amazing. But
I don't know. I think the Red Wedding was actually better on film. In some ways, it was way harder to watch that than it was read it. For me, at least. Like when I get that season on DVD, I will skip that scene. Like I will not watch that again.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Like that was rough. That was really rough. Although maybe that's because I knew it was coming. I don't know. Like I think there is a weird disconnect there. Like when you've read the book and you know that's coming, it's like you have like the first like 50 minutes of the show to be like, oh shit, like when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Whereas the people that don't know it's coming, it's just boom, like, and it's over. But I don't know. But yeah, the Unsullied scene was definitely much better in the book, and I just don't think that was like the first part in the entire series where I've actually liked her in the show. I don't know about you. She's very kind of bland in the show.
Yeah, I think that's more the fault of her actor than the writing.
Yes, so do I. I don't think she. I remember it was on. I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, but it's Westeros.org. It's like a fan forum. for all things, Song of Ice and Fire, if you're into that
Right.
sort of stuff. And there was a topic about like season 4 and Daenerys stuff, and there's a quote from someone on that forum, and I was like, yeah, that's really on the money. Like, she's the best in that show when she's not speaking English. Like when she's speaking like a made-up language, she is badass and
Yeah, that's true.
and convincing. When she's speaking English, it's like, ugh. Like, I don't know if that's just, because I don't think she's a terrible actress. Like, it's just, I don't think she's written particularly well in the show when she speaks English. When she's speaking Valerian or Dothraki, she's awesome. So, I don't know. What's this image?
It's amazing. There's another one that says, I actively endeavour to make myself more like Drew Scanlon.
Is he on the podcast?
Yeah, he's permanent on the podcast.
Oh, right, cool.
Which is good, because he's I really enjoy him being on there, because he does other shit. It's actually frightening how much he does in the real world.
Oh man, I want that Needless so bad.
He's doing one of those, those like Iron Man runs or whatever they're called. Like where you do like runs across the sea.
Oh, is it like you do a certain amount running, a certain amount biking, and then swimming, and then
it's not quite like that, but he's doing something similar. It's like a 12K run or something, but you have to like climb over buses and shit. Like they park like vehicles in the way on purpose, and you have to use them as obstacles on the run. Like, that's insane. I could never do something like that.
That does sound pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I listened to a Bombcast.
All right.
We should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, that's the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
Bye.